Welcome to Super Fun Game Review Podcast Go, a look at modern and retro games with a dark sense of humor. Introducing your hosts, Steve.
Well, I'm a wreck now.
Harry.
Put it in my mouth.
Clark.
That man had one testicle and hit home runs, goddammit.
And Joe.
This went off the rails very quickly.
Let's start the show.
Welcome to another exciting episode of Super Fun Game Review Podcast. Go! Alrighty. I'll be your host this evening. My name is Joe. Across the table from me, I have Steve.
I like a smoke after therapy.
Next to me, I have Clark.
Hey there, young blood.
Diagonal from me, I have Harry.
Diagonal.
Do you like dinosaurs? I won't get angry if you don't.
Hi, Batman.
You better run.
No, Harry, it's more like, you better run! You're fired!
And like I said, I'll be your host. My name is Joe.
Good old Whistling Joe.
Yeah.
Hey, fun fact, that came from his butthole.
True story. Had to eat a lot of cheese.
He ain't gonna poop for days.
I mean,
It might be the opposite.
quite the opposite.
Yeah. Yeah, that's right. You're lactose intolerant. He just pooped right now. Yeah. We just talking about
He's still
cheese.
pooping.
Yeah.
He's
just-
recording this from the bathroom.
So I was. So this evening we're going to be reviewing Road 96. But I was really expecting Harry to go with a different quip.
Oh, were you?
Yes.
I might be upset as soon as I hear it, too.
Let's hear it.
Have you seen the movie Gigantic Park?
Oh, I do remember that. we gotta give him a bath with soap.
No, not any kind of soap. Let me get the right kind of soap. Shows up with gasoline. I can't wait till what was it, Gigantic Park?
Yeah.
I can't wait till Gigantic Park comes out on VHS. My daughter would have loved that. Don't touch my tapes!
Oh, man.
Some say I have an anger issue.
You know what else?
So many great moments.
Yeah.
Legitimately frightening every time he comes up, though.
I know.
Scared
Well, mostly
shit.
because every time he shows up, it's just like, boom! You're like, ah!
It's so true.
Like, even when you first meet him and you're at the bar making him a drink, you turn around.
Well,
and
that's
not-
different. It's
Oh,
Yeah.
God. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Let's go through the.
We're gonna be talking some fucking Jared tonight.
He's only the second most scary Jared that I've ever heard of.
Oh,
The
right.
guy that makes sandwiches.
Yeah, the first one makes
Pedophile.
sandwiches. You got it.
All right. So this hilarity is going to be brought to you by Deep Creek Glassworks.
Deep Creek Glassworks. Deep Creek Glassworks.
Glassworks works.
It's glass.
And it works.
For your collection. What kind of stuff do they make, Joe?
Yeah. Ornaments.
Yeah?
Tchotchkes.
Yeah.
Drinking ware.
Yeah.
Probably eating ware.
Maybe.
I mean, if you can drink out of his glass, I'm
Plate,
sure
maybe.
you can eat off of it.
Sure. I don't know.
He might make a plate.
Yeah. Yeah, that's some pictures, some cool decanters that I've seen them have at craft shows, and it's getting warm, so make sure to check out their website and Instagram, Facebook, to let you know where, if you're local Southeast PA, you might go see the man himself. Oh, and that website, deepcreekglassworks.com. Work spelled WORX, while Joe makes shadow hand puppets in bright
than
light.
that.
Yeah.
WORX.
XX. So many X's.
Or just one. Just one.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Just one.
Triple X.
No, that's going to be a whole different type of.
Was Tanner Vin Diesel now?
You didn't know I make glass. I make glass because it's like family.
That was like
Was that Sylvester Stallone?
Sylvester Stallone doing his Vin Diesel impression.
Fucking nailed it. Fucking nailed it.
My impressions run deep.
Greek Glassworks.
Got him.
Got him. Yeah, use promo code SUPERFUN at checkout to get 10% off of your first order with free shipping in crush-resistant boxes. Boxes.
Free shipping.
Go check it out. Support small business. Fuckers.
Alrighty.
All right, you ready to hit the road?
Yeah, let's get some initial impressions.
All right.
I want to start with Clark.
Ooh.
You mentioned this game coming out. You were like, hey, this game's like coming out in like a day or two, and it looks really interesting. And I was like, that does look really interesting. Purchase, download, wait for it to be available. And then I played like half of it.
Yeah.
Just as soon as it came out. And then Joe brought it to the podcast, and here we are. I love the procedural type games where, everything can be completely different. So
Yeah. Steve?
So my initial impression was you said this game was coming out. It looked interesting. I watched the trailer. Like, that could be interesting. I waited until you brought it to the podcast, and then I bought it. Yeah, I wasn't really sure. I'm like, this could be interesting, and we'll see where it goes.
Harry, initial impressions?
I kind of mirror what Steve had to say. I didn't really do anything with this game except watch a trailer prior to picking this game up. The trailer, I will say, kind of made me excited in the sense that it had a reminiscent feel of like the Telltale games. I don't know whether it was like the art style or just the way that they described how this game was going to be, but I got that kind of vibe, and I'm a big fan of those games. So
Big fan. Big fan.
huge fan.
Like an industrial size
fan.
fan. Biggest fans, greatest fans.
So that's my initial impression. I kind of went in fairly blind,
Cool.
for the most part.
Don't you in everyday life, because you're still supposed to wear glasses? Mm-hmm. Okay.
Correct my vision through willpower alone.
Or not.
He's going to fall down the stairs and break a hip.
So, yeah, as they mentioned, I honestly didn't know much about this game either. I was just strolling through Steam one day looking at, upcoming releases, and I saw this one was like either had just come out or it came out, like Clark said, in like a day or whatever. And I was like, I saw the trailer and I was like, oh, wow, this is, speaks to like a lot of the things that, we've talked about in previous games and things like that. So I just threw it in the Discord as like a, hey, check this game coming out, kind of thing. But deep down, I immediately knew that I was going to pitch it as the podcast game, like one of my next ones, like in rotation or whatever. So now that we're getting around it, I was pretty excited to actually get into it because I basically stayed away from it completely until I, started playing it. Cool.
Take it.
All right, so let's stick our thumb out and go into game development.
Game development.
Ooh, I'm looking for a butt.
I was going to say, I found my seat.
All right, so
a match made in hell.
a couple of interesting things about this game. First of all, looking online for anything game development, there's fucking nothing. So the package of this game I bought because I knew I was very interested in it, and it was already like fairly cheap. They actually made a documentary when they were releasing this game and making it.
That's a good move.
I was curious if anyone had picked that up.
I did. I watched it last night.
Ooh.
So basically,
okay.
all of my game development stuff came from there because
Let's
I
hear it.
couldn't find anything else.
All right.
Was it a good documentary? Is it worth a watch?
It's in French, so be prepared to read.
We win.
But yeah, honestly though, like I had a feeling it was going to be French just playing this game. I don't know. There were a couple things in it that just like
Yep.
spoke out like that.
A lot of berets.
So they had this game under development for quite a while, and just kind of they actually had the idea for the game with like the road tripping and everything else pretty much figured out before they even had a story. They had no idea what they were going to do with it, but they built the platform. They were like, we have this really cool idea for a platform and how the story's going to work out and how the character's going to travel through and progress. What do we write around it?
Huh.
It was kind of a very interesting take as far as building a game goes.
Yeah, a lot of times it starts with the story.
Yeah.
And then kind of goes from
and
there.
then they
They're
build
like,
out what they want the mechanics to be.
we have
Yeah.
everything set. What do we do with it?
Yeah, so they were very influenced by, a lot of the, games that, we like, but also like very old like text-based games as well, where like, choose your own adventure text-based games, from the 90s and things like that. There was a lot of 90s callbacks, in this game that really inspired what they were doing.
Yeah. Well, they had it set in the 90s too, so that
Right.
helped.
So when COVID hit, they actually put the project on hold completely. Like they were like, okay, they were doing really bad on funding. They were running out of money. They basically had none. COVID hit, and they were like, this is the nail in the coffin.
We're going to die.
They were basically like, we're shelving this. Hopefully not, indefinitely, but we don't know.
And that's what inspired all the features in the game about stealing money to get back on budget.
So what happened was actually just happenstance, like, or fate, if you will. The main developer at DigixArt, who is the developer of this game, was DM'd on Twitter from HP, like the computer company.
Hewlett Packard?
Yeah, and they were like, "Hey, we're starting to build up like a gaming and publishing division. We want to just have a meet with you and discuss a few things." They had no idea they were working on this game.
Oh.
And it was
Wow.
and they were like, had no idea they needed funding. This was like right after they had already sent everybody home from COVID and like literally cleaned out the offices and everything.
Isn't that like good fucking timing?
Yeah.
It's very serendipitous.
Yeah. And then, so they met, with HP, HP basically fell in love with the game, and they were basically like, here's whatever you need. This
Here's
sounds
the
amazing.
money.
There you go. You don't need
and
to
it was
hack
like,
into safes.
holy shit, we can actually hire people, because they were like, even before that, they were like very skeleton crew of like under 15 people. And they were like, okay, let's, they still were very smart about their money and the way they did things. They did a lot of things in this game that I thought were fucking awesome as far as development goes. So they did motion capture, but they didn't use cameras. There's actually like this thing called XSense where you wear it and it does motion capture with no, you don't have to wear the balls or anything like that. And it was crazy.
Oh, I like wearing balls. Everywhere.
You know what I mean, though. And
Yeah,
then
yeah,
for
yeah.
like for motion capture of like the dialogue, when people did like their voice acting and stuff like that, they literally just used iPhones with like the AR, like an AR kit.
Oh, no shit.
Yeah, because like like you can just look at a phone and they have like those animated emojis,
Like
that,
the little
copy your
kitty or
face.
something.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they basically used that technology and ported it into their engine.
That's really scrappy.
Yeah,
Like that's
Yeah.
like
like
and
it was
that's-
shit like that gave me a ton of respect for this developer.
that's what I was gonna
yeah.
say. Like that kind of stuff shows in the character of this game that they were just like, we need to get this done. Like it seems like it was like just a scrappy team that like made this game happen. It felt that like you could pull that from the
There's
game.
some real
almost.
like ingenuity and like just kind of like, how do we do this? And then it's just fucking Tom in the back. He's like, what if we use the phones with this? And I'm like, oh, look at that. We can't give you any more money, but let's run with that.
Yeah. Yeah, so like they recorded all the animation and dialogue at the same time and everything. They thought that was really cool.
Huh.
And as far as releasing goes, it came out in August 16th of 2001.
2001?
I'm sorry, 2021.
Wow. Pre 9/11.
I was reading too many things simultaneously. They originally announced the game at the Game Awards in 2020, which was December of 2020. That's when they originally announced it, which went over my head.
It went over a lot of people's head. It was 2020, so that's the forgotten year.
Yeah, so they like,
You like that one?
yeah.
The forgotten year. I love it.
Year of the pandy.
Year of the trash dumpster. Or the trash fire.
It's trash fire. Yeah. Dumpster fire.
Yes.
There we go.
Yeah, so
keep
after
pushing that.
after
Yeah.
the Game Awards, they were really concerned about the game because like their website got crushed by people, and was just like offline for a while from people trying to like access it and see what this game was all about. So that's always a good thing, getting a hug of death.
Yeah.
And then when the game,
Unless you actually die.
And then when they actually launched the
It
game,
follows.
they tried to do an ad campaign on Facebook, but Facebook like banned them because their ads were
French.
too political.
Yeah.
I can see that.
Yeah.
So there was political stuff in this game?
What? Now, when I wonder where if they're because I did read that about that online. I was wondering if were they just like a fantasy ad to kind of play into like the world building of the game, or did it parallel too much with real shit that was going on in the world?
I feel like it.
Little A, little B.
I mean, if you think about the politics that are in this game with the whole border control
Yes.
thing, and then Agent Orange out there fucking screaming about the borders the entire time. If you talk about like trying to cross the border in any sort of ad, you'd get flagged on Facebook. So
Yeah.
The response was huge.
Yeah. And Facebook was like, hey, like, if you cut, like, you know, and they gave them, like, timestamps or something, and they were like, hey, if you cut these sections out, like, you can repost it. And the developer's like, no, that, like...
That defeats the purpose of what we
Yeah,
want
they were
to
like,
show
we'll
what
just
this
not
is
do
about.
it.
Yeah.
it is a very politically fueled game, though.
Yeah.
Just a
Absolutely.
little bit. Just a little bit.
But I think that's pretty much everything I had to say about game development. Like I said, documentary was amazing. I would probably still recommend watching it.
Okay. Yeah. That's some pretty cool stuff to know because again, trying to look for stuff online,
Yeah.
there's really not much. You have a release date and there's like some like little things kind of put together, but I feel like what you find online may be just like a little brief glimpse into like what that documentary shows. So that's pretty cool.
Who greenlit the documentary? Was it the studio that produced the game, or was this somebody else?
Did
So they
did
had some
start it
footage prior to when HP gave them
Okay.
money.
I was about to ask about
Yeah.
that. And then because
Not a lot, but there was some.
Yeah.
But did they head this project?
I don't know.
Okay. What I'm getting at, because I'm pretty sure I read that this was only their second produced game. I think they had one prior to this.
Yeah.
It sounds, if they were the ones that were making the documentary about themselves after 2 games, it sounds a little pretentious, but
yeah.
if...
It didn't. The documentary doesn't come off very pretentious.
Okay.
It's also one of those things like lots of game companies are starting to do that now, just in case they do hit it big. Then they're like, oh, here's the documentary of like when we made this, and if not, it just like kind of sits someplace or it becomes a bonus. I think because of the success of the documentaries for Half-Life and all the Naughty Dog games, like Naughty Dog have like their dev diaries and stuff like that. I think a lot of people have glommed onto that. Even the smaller groups and smaller game studios are starting to document some of their stuff. It also helps. I was actually reading an article about this the other day. Game companies are starting to do this because there's so much overlap in IP that having carbon dated information of when you're creating a brand new IP is important, because if someone catches wind of it and copyrights it before you can be like, no, actually, here's like carbon dated documentation that like this is our idea.
I got shit from like 5 to 7 years ago says this is mine compared to your 2 or whatever it is. Yeah,
right,
yeah,
and that fuels a big lawsuit. And the best thing that you can do is have video evidence of you working on something like that.
Got to protect that money.
Yep.
All right.
Yeah, I got nothing else over here.
Nope.
All right. Well, let's call for a cab and move into story.
Story.
All right. So this is going to be pretty short. We're going to talk about a lot of things that happen here. The story changes quite a bit depending on how you play. A lot of different things. From what I could tell, I think there was like, basically, if you count all the interactions in the middle, there's like 16,000 different permutations of this game. So our journey begins in the summer of 1996 in the country of Petria, which is very locked down and does not allow people to cross the border to leave the country. Any teenagers found trying to flee will be arrested and sent to the pits to never be heard from again. The country is also on the cusp of a presidential election, as well as the 10-year anniversary of a rock collapse at the country border, which killed many innocent bystanders as well as the protesters and political activists. So that sets up the story. Everything outside of that is totally dependent upon how you
Choose
play.
your own adventure.
Yeah, it really
Yeah.
is choose your own adventure
Yeah.
from here on out.
Yeah, it is.
So out of curiosity, before we get into like the NPCs, I'm curious about your playable characters
Okay.
and like how maybe not how their story ended.
Teens Without
Maybe we
Borders.
could do that. Out of curiosity, like how many playable characters did you go through? And we'll say how many made it across the border. We'll start there.
All right. So, because it's basically a character per episode, right?
Yeah.
So I had 7.
Okay.
Out of 7, 5. Was it 5? I believe I had 5 that made it. Because at least, like, did you say with the outcomes on like the other?
Yeah,
couples
like
that
you
did it?
got across the border.
Okay. Yeah. Because my very first person did not make it because that's how I learned about keeping your energy up by eating and whatnot.
Oh, that sucks.
So my very first one was arrested. And then I had a couple make it over. And then I had 2 that died. Okay, so I had 4 make it across, 3 did not. The other 2 that I had were killed in different ways. Do I say how they're killed?
Do we want to get into that?
Do I at least just like as
Okay.
like the
I mean-
playable characters?
Yeah, if you want to.
That's his experience.
Yeah,
It's
sure.
As the
Okay.
the playable characters.
Yeah,
Sure.
so as the playable characters, so yeah, the first one was arrested not too far in. I think they made it like 2 stops, and that was about it. 'Cause
Damn.
that
You
was,
must have started with like 4 lives or something, or 4 health or whatever.
it was probably a low one, and then after that, I'm like, oh, this is all the things that you have to do to live. Okay. Yeah, so then I had a couple make it over, and then I had one that I tried to help someone escape
Right.
at the very end,
Right.
and it was a choice of either run or save this person.
Right.
And I saved that person, and then
You get shot in the back. Yeah, I had
Yeah,
the
same
exact
thing happened to me.
Yeah,
Yep.
that's the only person I lost actually.
Wow, okay.
Since it was all of it, so it was like trying to save Zoe, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's getting
Yeah.
her across the border.
Right. So that way it was like with at least that. We'll get into that storyline. So that was one, and then the other one, I made it to the point of this is after Zoe going up the same road or same route rather, and finding a smuggler, and the smuggler got me all the way to the wall, and then I was waiting for like. It felt like a couple minutes. It probably wasn't because I was impatient.
This is the person you had to pay $25 for or whatever.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then we found someone along the way too, and I paid more money. This was like the most expensive one that I had to spend money on to figure this shit out. Gets us to the wall, and the 3 of us, like the basically the coyote and myself and the other random person we picked up are all just standing there. And I'm like, I don't know where to go or anything. We're literally just standing at this wall, and then I see the path that we walked down. I'm like, oh, maybe I need to go find something else up the path. I make it up like 25 feet, shot down dead.
Yep.
Yep.
Yep. And coming to find out, I think I just had to wait longer, but I did not. But I died.
That's funny.
So yeah, 4 across, 1 arrest, 2 deaths.
Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had 4 get across, including the very last character.
I included my very last character in
Okay.
getting across.
So my first character got arrested. I had the one character die saving Zoe. And then the courier that you mentioned, I didn't have enough money for because I left my money previously.
Oh.
And the guards immediately just start chasing you basically at one point.
When you can't pay them off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then you get to that wall and you're basically just stranded because they're like getting spotlights all over the fucking place and you're getting chased down by the guys with guns.
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
All right.
What do you got, Harry? You seem like you had.
Yeah, no. So I wanted to talk about that moment too because I had a different experience at
Okay.
the wall. So I had 6 characters. I got 5 out of 6 across, and then the one that died was saving Zoe.
Okay. For a good cause, then.
Yeah, so my first escape, I did want to mention this because this kind of set the tone for the game, was doing the mountain climb. I don't know if you guys did that.
Yeah.
That
Yep.
it was just like a cool, like, am I going to make it? Do I have enough stamina?
I tried
Resting
every,
along the way.
every method of getting across.
Yeah, I think
You really had to.
Yeah.
I think so there. Well, we'll get into that in a second.
Yeah.
Anyway, so the wall one. So I stole a credit card along the way.
Oh,
Yeah.
you found one of the ATM cards?
I
found a
actually
couple
found
of them.
quite a few, and
Did you?
I
Yeah. Oh,
maxed out on withdrawing money.
Never came across one of those. Son of a bitch.
Anyway, so I offered the card to the guard to let
yeah.
me smuggle across. I didn't know it was a two fucking parter. They asked for more money at the guard. And
guards.
Oh no! Actually, as soon as it goes that segment, you show up at nighttime and you're following her, and she's like, "Now give me the portion of the money." And I'm
Yeah.
thinking, like, I already fucking gave you this credit card. Like,
Yeah.
how is this a two fucking parter?
Yeah.
So she just took off, and I was like, I'm fucked. But then I found some hippie in the woods.
Yeah.
I don't know if you guys came across him. And
No.
I asked him to follow me. He was like, I have the radio signal that'll tell us to get across,
Oh, okay.
No, that's a different one.
or something like that. So you get to that guard, and he's like, oh, I need to see your papers. And I just ran to the wall. You can use the hippie to give you a boost up, but then
Yep.
he gets killed.
Yeah.
It was a choice, like who should get boosted up first. I was like, fuck that. I'm
That's
getting
me,
boosted up
bitch.
first.
So
Okay.
I had something similar, except for I had all the money. I had the money to pay the coyote, pay for the guard, pay for the extra person to come with.
Yeah.
When we get to the wall, cops show up immediately as soon as you get to the wall, shoot the coyote dead, and the kid's like, come on, and you have the choice, like, help him or go over. And I was like, I'm gonna go over. And literally he's lifting you up, and you like grab onto the wall and you look down, and he just gets shot to shit.
Oh, wait. So you didn't have to wait too long for, like, those cars to come?
No, they showed up immediately.
Oh, I
So
don't know.
Probably for us then, since we didn't have a second person with us, we couldn't get over the wall because we
I,
needed a
I
boost.
had a second person with
Oh,
me.
wow.
I paid for the
Did
extra
you talk
dude.
to both of them? I had to talk to both of them. I was just always
Like,
on top
at
of
the wall
it.
or whatever?
I didn't get any, like, prompts because I walked all the way up to him. I walked to the coyote, and I was getting, like, or at least maybe I didn't see it, but I'm pretty damn sure I didn't get any, like, conversation, like, options that came up. It was literally me walking, like, around that wall area, like, back and forth, just like, what are we doing? Am I missing a door? Is there a prompt that I
The
should
old John
see?
Travolta gif.
Literally, that's what it fucking was. It's
So-
like, where do I go? What do I do?
Yeah.
So I made it across with 6 characters. I had 9 characters in total. And 3 of mine were killed. 1 was arrested. One... Oh, wait, maybe I only had 5 characters get across.
Yeah, because if you had 3 killed and 1 arrested, and you had 9 total.
Math.
Yeah, no, maybe it was 4 because I'm trying to. The deaths are more memorable than making it across. Honestly, I got killed saving Zoe.
Yep.
Was Oh wait, no, it was only 3. Sorry. Got killed saving Zoe. Got arrested for running out of energy, and I had a character killed by Jared.
Okay.
Were you in the taxi?
There's
Yeah.
a couple of moments where that's an option.
Where the agitation meter comes up.
Yeah.
That kind
yeah.
of came up a couple.
it can happen.
Yeah.
It can happen many times.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we'll get into some of that more, Ben.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
yeah. All right.
Old Jared.
I like how already it's like
Different.
different playthroughs.
Yeah.
So that
Yeah.
that's something I can appreciate.
Before we get into like characters, I did want to mention my first playthrough, and I wish this would have happened on a later playthrough because I didn't fully understand the game. Your first character.
Yeah, that's why I got arrested the first time through.
My very
How do I do this?
my very first segment. I don't know if you experienced this. Was with the reporter.
Sonia Sanchez.
Yes, I had the gambling one. I don't know if you had that.
Yeah, the dice bonus.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was all. I got that the first
I
playthrough.
walked away with like 400
Gold
gold
or
Jesus
money rather or whatever.
Christ.
because I won every single time until I
Oh,
Wait,
you're
the
at
dice thing.
at the
with the cups where he's shuffling
the
around.
cup.
The
cup
Oh,
game.
yeah.
Oh,
That
okay.
was the
Yeah.
very first segment. I saved as much money as I could to the end, and I ran across the border holding like 400.
Wow, I didn't
Yeah.
get to that one until real late in the game.
Yeah, that was
Same.
my very first.
Oh, wow. Okay.
My first one, I actually made it across the border. My first character made it across.
Nice.
Do we want to talk about the crossings now, except for the one that triggers your ending?
Oh, like
yeah, I guess we could.
How we crossed?
Yeah.
Okay.
the
It's
different
still
ways.
not NPC related.
Yeah.
so.
Yeah.
Yeah. So there's like multiple different ways to.
So we all got Zoe across. That's
Yep.
or well, we died.
but we did,
Which I
manage-
count
yeah.
as like a crossing the border because
Yeah.
like somebody crossed the border in that. So.
Right.
Sure.
Okay. Because we have that, and I think I'm like Clark because I didn't want to get across because when you get up to the top of that mountain, because basically we should tell you it's like the whole thing is like these teens trying to cross the border into like another country. Basically, think of
It's Canada.
You're
It totally is.
you live in North Korea and you're trying to get to South Korea, and there's a bunch of shit that's going to kill you along the way to try to reach this type of freedom.
But you're in a desert.
Yeah, but desert setting, yeah. But there's multiple.
More like
ways
you're in New
out.
Mexico, escaping to Mexico.
Yeah, it's
Sure.
it's Mexico
Yeah.
escaping into Canada.
Yeah.
Nothing in between.
Yeah, so
So there's you climb the mountain.
there's climbing the mountain, and because there's the one where I don't know if you guys had it. I had on that run through. You travel with Papa Bear, and what's his actual name?
So all
John.
of that stuff
John.
can change completely.
Right. So I traveled with John, and he gave me like the ingredients to like his super drink.
Oh, to give you more health.
Right. To give me more health, and that was like the very last thing before I went to the top of the mountain. So you were already like high up on shit, ready to go. Let's do it. And I think there's like an actual extra option when you go to climb that. It's not there's like your try to traverse this, and then whatever his power up the Omni Vial or
Omen.
Omen.
Yeah. That's an homage to the HP publishing because their gaming sector is called Omen.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
Ah, well, good call. Yeah, so went that way, which I wanted something to fucking happen with that goddamn dynamite. You guys notice that, like, when you
Yeah.
notice the dynamite, like, up on the ridge? Mm-hmm.
Well, it builds into the story later. Though.
No.
Well,
Yeah, it definitely
yeah,
does.
or before you.
Or before you. Know?
Yeah, yeah, about 10 years
It's part
before
of the
that.
story.
Yeah. So that, and then we had, I snuck in the truck and made it through the checkpoints. I went through the exam to be an offshore worker, which
Oh, I
Yep.
never did that.
I did that one.
yeah, so you go into like if you follow that row of trucks all the way down the mountain, like at the very end, you
Yeah.
know, the end part, you can actually like smooth and talk your way to go in and take an exam.
Yeah, and you
To-
do like a contract.
Yeah, you're an
Interesting.
offshore contractor, and that's how you get over the border. And yeah, fun fact that I did read: some of the questions that they used are actually on, or not on, but are used in North Korea
Yep.
for those who are, going to go do offshore work, and they'll use for it. It's like legitimate, actual questions, like who is the great leader of the country who will take us to salvation? Tyrak.
Yeah.
Kim Jong-un. So yeah, it's a lot of them were like kind of over. And when I read that afterwards, I'm like, oh fuck, yep, that makes sense.
Yeah.
And then you have like, going through with Zoe, Coyote. I'm trying to think if there was
I don't know what coyote is.
The coyote.
The person that you pay.
Oh,
To
is that,
take you
is that
across
her
the board.
name?
No, that's what it's called.
That's
It's-
what it's called.
Okay.
So the migrants coming up from like Central South America trying to get into North America, they pay basically
Coyotes.
coyotes, which are basically cartel people and whatnot who extort money out of these fucking people to take you across. But yeah, they're informal.
Did anyone go through the secret passage?
The tunnels?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I didn't even
Tunnels?
see that.
Yeah, there's
Did you find the family that was in there?
Yep. That's very sad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, I need to hear more
No,
about
Yes.
I do have a question about the game before we talk about this scene.
Sure.
So there was a scene where you could hand them over food in that section, which
Yes.
also happened with handing like a candy bar to the dog if you rode the truck across or something like that.
Unless you
Yeah.
ate it ahead of time.
How do you get extra food to carry? I've never found like a key item of food unless you have to fill up
have.
your bar and then buy an additional
Nope,
item.
because you eat it still. It's only certain key moments.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
certain key moments will have you pick it up, and there won't be an eat option.
Okay.
Yeah, they're just used as like an extra item.
The one in the truck did give you the option, though. I ate it, and then I came across the dog, and I still got away.
Same.
Oh yeah, same.
Yeah.
Same.
If
but-
you have enough air, if you
Yeah,
can
yeah.
hold your breath long enough.
enough.
Yeah.
Okay, but sorry, we were going through the tunnels. You come across a family that looks like they were trying to get one of their kids across.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh,
And they said they ran off. They heard
I
gunshots.
had a reference to this in my playthrough, but never saw them.
Okay. But yeah, it looked like they were trying to take their kids across. The one, I don't know if it was son or daughter, went off to look ahead or something like that. They heard gunshots and they haven't seen them again. Oh. And they were just sitting there like camping out, starving, waiting for them to return.
And then
Did
you can find his backpack too.
that wasn't the one that was on the mountain, was it?
No, it's in the tunnels.
Is it in the tunnels?
Yeah.
I didn't find that.
You only get one shot at the tunnels.
Right.
Like
Okay.
once you go through the tunnels, you cannot go through them again.
Most of the things were one shot anyway.
Yeah, they were.
Yeah.
Climbing over the mountain, the path caves
Crumbles,
in.
yeah.
Which that reminds me of climbing over the mountain when you see like the person
People's backpacks from where they fell off.
yet and the body that was there too, like
Yeah.
stuffed in between the fucking rocks.
So I had a reference to their family in my game when I was with Zoe at the campsite before you get to the border. So when I was with Zoe, we slept overnight and she left me or whatever.
Yeah.
Before that happens, there's like, you go through the cave behind the waterfall and to the right, there's that camping area.
Yeah.
There was a letter from that family.
Oh, in the journal.
Yeah, in the
Yeah.
journal.
Yeah. Yeah.
Near where that rock was where you could leave people money.
Okay.
Oh, that's right.
I thought I was a stash for myself, and I was pretty upset when it's
not.
Oh, I
went
know.
missing.
Yeah, it's not.
I found out the same fucking thing. I'm like, I left $100 goddamn dollars
Got
in
to use
here.
the second hideout.
Where is my fucking money?
Yeah.
Now with the truck, because there was 2 trucks that you can climb in. One
Oh, was there?
One was a lock picking to get in the back of the truck, and one was a force in to get in the back of the truck. I didn't know if there was a difference between those 2 truck.
I did the
papers.
force in.
So
I didn't get
the-
my lockpick till my last playthrough.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I did the lock pick one.
Yeah, I got lucky. I got my lock pick like super early.
You know what? The
It was-
force
it
in
was-
cost 2 bars, didn't it?
Yeah, it did.
That's
Yeah.
the difference.
Yeah.
Because the
Yeah.
lock pick, I was able to go in with full stamina.
Yeah, but it was motion sensor, dog, hold your breath.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Same thing then.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool. There any other ways to get across? There was the Zoe way, which is very specific.
There was the
Yeah.
Zoe way. There was the Mountain way, specific also.
I think that way had me the most tense running with the alarms with Zoe.
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
That was pretty cool actually.
A lot of them actually had me pretty tense. Like, how am I going to fuck this up? Am I going to fuck this up?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Like-
there was a few situations just like all throughout where it's just like, oh fuck. Like I have one that sticks out in my mind, but we'll wait till we get into NPC interactions.
Yeah. So I had assumed when we played this game, before we get in the NPCs, since we're talking about the crossings and all that stuff, do we want to talk about how each game ended? Because like I assumed we basically had the same ending.
Probably not.
No, there's
Okay.
actually, I believe, at least four different endings.
Right, because
We should
I
talk
did.
about the characters. Mine had heavy character stuff in it.
Oh yeah, you're good point. Good point. Let's
Okay.
cover the NPCs.
Okay.
Could we possibly just flesh out a character at a time?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is that cool?
Yeah.
So we'll run through the NPCs and then we'll get to the ending.
Let's start with Sonya.
Okay. What
Okay.
a cunt.
Totally.
She's a very fake person, but I actually don't hate her.
No, she has remorse over not saving
Lola.
Connie.
She
What?
not
Connie.
Wasn't it Connie?
Yeah, who's
Lola.
Connie?
Lola.
No, Lola.
Are you talking about
Jared's daughter.
Jared's daughter?
Yeah, that's Lola. John's girlfriend who died that
Is
day
Connie.
was Connie.
Oh, maybe I was getting them
During the
mixed up
collapse.
then.
Yeah, that might
But
be.
I think they were both killed in the collapse.
they were.
They were.
Yeah,
Okay.
but Lola
Okay.
was
Why
a
did-
teenager who was basically, manipulated into being like, hey, let's go set this bomb by Dickhole Robert or Bob.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I get the concept. I think I
Yeah.
was when they were referencing I don't know if she said the name. I just heard the lady crushed by a rock and she was upset.
Yeah.
And I heard two separate stories of people getting killed in that incident. So there's going to be a little bleed over, I guess, in my interpretation.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wasn't totally mad at her. Like, I mean, I found her. It's
Same.
like, it's like, okay, you are just reading off this basically shit fabricated news and whatnot, and then
she knows it.
Yeah, she does,
Yeah.
And
then,
she has remorse about it. She's just like, this is not what I want. Like,
Yeah.
she was one of the characters that I had full, like, 100%, so I saw her entire,
gotcha.
like, story and stuff like that.
I think I got her to like 60-something%.
It might have been like 80 or so.
She is very remorseful. She's very aware of what her role is, but she was like nothing before.
She's got some problems though.
Yeah,
Where you want, because then if you 100%, you had the car ride with her.
yeah, where she's on drugs.
Yeah, basically.
Oh,
She's zooted.
Did you have that one, Joe?
No.
That
She
fucking
trips the fuck out.
Yeah, she
Yeah,
does.
it's
She
like-
Actually,
falls
you
out of the
trip
car.
out with her.
Yeah, it becomes like Guitar Hero. She like spikes both of your drinks with drugs. Yeah.
Whoa, wait, what? I didn't get that.
You didn't trip out?
I didn't trip out. I had a dance party with her.
Oh, there's the dance party where you're like pressing the buttons.
I didn't have
There's
that
a
one.
okay. So
I told you there's so many
so
permutations in the
so
second
listen.
game.
There's a dance party.
Yeah,
Where
which
she's just,
I
like,
found that
dancing
she's
around.
dancing. Yeah, and she was like, she had herself like partying outside of the car window, but I'm just driving.
Oh, I did have that.
Oh
one. I
yeah,
had that.
where
Yeah,
you're
yeah.
driving
Yeah.
in the back of her limo.
Oh, I was
when
not
you
there.
get picked up. She drugs your guys' drinks, and you start fucking tripping.
Whoa, what is that? Like one of the hitchhike? Like you hitchhiked and she picks you up? Okay, gotcha. Oh fuck. Okay.
Yeah, and like, so every time you see her where she's like partying or really like drunk, that's kind of when you get to see her actual like character, like her real self
the real
come out.
Yeah,
And it's always interesting.
being named
like-
Sonia Sanchez and then talking like this.
She's not she's a terrible person, but like she's self-aware enough to know that she is a terrible person. She's just like, there's not much I can change in my current things.
Yeah.
Like, because she kind of mentions how like she's fully aware that the news organization that she works for is owned by the president, and he injects a ton of money into the news, and her fame and success are all because of him. She's like, that's why I'm grateful for him. And it's like, okay, yeah, I get that actually. Like, I actually understand that. Like, you know what you're doing, but also like
You're still a piece of shit.
the dude took you from nothing.
Yeah.
And got you made your career.
I'm a regular Anna Nicole Smith who talks.
But yeah, she was an interesting character. And then you find out that she has ties to other characters.
Yeah.
They all have a link with one of the other characters. in
Each
one
other.
way.
In one
I'm not
way
even
or
talking
another,
about
yeah.
Jared.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
I know.
Okay.
Yeah. Stan and Mitch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I figured that's probably a good transition.
It
Well,
could be.
so
We're still on her, but
Yeah. So my thoughts on her a little bit. So the only one scene I got that showed any kind of redemption was the tripping one, where she's out of her element, and that's when she's talking about. I guess she wasn't able to save
Lola.
Lola.
Yeah.
But
Did
like-
she talked about that while you were tripping?
or maybe
Because she talked about that at the border for me.
Like at the border for like her final.
yeah, you know
yeah,
what? Maybe
she's
you're
like
right.
she's like crying, and Jared's in the background.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She's like, sometimes I wish it was me that died so that girl could still be here.
Yeah.
Like that thing.
There was one time when she was drinking in the car, she did kind of reveal. But every other one, I guess she was pretty sober for the most part. So she did have that, like, I'm an asshole kind of vibe and demanding things. And
Yeah.
she even risked the life of
Her driver.
her driver,
Adam.
like that whole setup scene when they were doing
Yeah,
the
the
camera.
setup with Robert.
Like,
yeah.
like she was willing to have him killed in order to get this story.
I didn't have that scene either.
Oh yeah, you have to like take pictures of
Yeah, you're scouting out
her
in her
trying
room
to
in a
set up
hotel.
the brigade and expose Robert to the public.
Oh wow, no.
And I specifically did not take a picture of Robert
Okay.
the entire time. I took pictures of his number 2.
Gotcha.
And then she was like, I can't use any of this. And I was like, well, sucks to suck. But
The only time I had to film for Sonya was at the Tyrak rally.
yeah, that was like the
Yeah.
first thing for me.
Did you
Yeah.
shoot the other billboard of
Flores.
Flores?
Yeah, and made people like boo him and shit.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh
okay.
yeah, definitely made people boo him. And then when the police went over and started beating the shit out of the protesters, I was like, "Oh yeah, that's right. I have a zoom and zooming in on that." And she's like, "Don't be showing that." I'm like, "I'm gonna keep this going."
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, she was a very flawed character. Like in her
Yeah.
own character was flawed. Like where you could see it's like it looks like you could be like an actual okay person,
I didn't get that vibe.
but
I think she's just a piece of shit.
you're
You can be flawed, but if you're flawed and self-aware, I think that's an important distinction, and it makes you a different person.
kinda.
Kinda.
It's,
mean,
it's
it-
like
it
where it's
totally
like yeah,
is.
she could be aware. It's like this isn't the person I want to be or something else, but you're still being that fucking dipshit of a person.
Money changes people.
Yeah, it seemed like you said, like she didn't have like much else to do. There was one media, perceived
Yeah.
in this game, obviously.
Yeah, I'm already loving all the different interactions. We only had one fucking person so far.
I know, right?
Do we?
Yeah, and she. So another. I don't know. I'm gonna stick with she's a shitty person. I don't know if you remember the scene where she's yelling out of the roof of the car, like telling everybody they're pieces of shit for doing the protests.
Oh yeah,
Like she
Yeah.
could have just stayed silent and not said anything, but she was like,
actively being an asshole.
yes,
Yeah.
I don't know. I think the
Fair.
rock should have fell on her.
You can be a little sweet, but be a real fucking.
Yeah, I don't know.
Plot
think she's
about
a
things.
Shithead. I think she's one of the worst characters in the game.
I disagree. There's a far worse character in the game.
Yeah, we'll keep going. It's not Jared. Spoiler alert.
It's not Jared. Jared, I think, is one of the best characters in the game.
Yeah, all right, we'll get there. So if we're anybody else for Sonya, cool.
You want to move on into Sam and Mitch?
Stan and Mitch.
I liked
Just
them.
one of
They
my-
were just fucking goofy and weird.
Yeah.
This hit me. Oh God, hold on. Okay, yeah, there it is. It was one of my other quips. When you're in a car
I'll tell you, Stan.
and it's like a robbery just occurred at the laundromat about an hour ago. Both robbers dressed like they're into S&M, and I was like, Stan and Mitch,
Stan and Mitch. That's when it clicked.
yeah.
It was like up to that point where I was in the car with them for that scene. It was like they had been referenced about being dressed in S&M clothes like
That was
3
the first
times.
time for me.
It was at least twice, if not 3 times before that. Every time they're described, it's like, oh, the guys, they're dressed in like S&M gear.
The way
it's
they
like,
said
what's
it,
going on?
And I love that they're completely unaware that they don't mean like sadistic and masochistic clothes. They think it's Stan and Mitch clothes. Like they have no idea that people
Yeah.
think that they're talking about like
Yeah.
man, it's
They're
just so
they're
hilarious.
just talking about us. No, they think you have cock rings on, boys. Just throwing that out there.
They think you like
Actually,
do
if we're
things
going
to
full
people.
S&M, you might just have like full cock cages. It's like, don't get an erection. It's not going to feel good at all. They were a silly bunch. I had several. Which now that we're bringing it up, is where you were talking about, it's like a few moments that like really made you like feel like you were like sweating, like you had a panic and try to figure it out. When they were, I forget what the actual setting was, but you were in like some sort of control room and you had to do the monitors.
When they were robbing the store.
Yes.
Yep.
Happy Taxi. They were robbing Happy Taxi.
Yeah,
Yes.
you're right. You're right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Home of Jared.
Home of Jared. Yeah.
That made it nervous for me. I was
we
like,
kept
Jared's
getting
gonna fucking show up.
I haven't met Jared at that point, so I don't fucking know.
Yo, just an aside, real quick. As soon as I left there, I called a cab and then had a Jared sequence. I was like, oh God! But I had already met him at that point.
Okay.
I know what you did. I'm sorry. Jared
Trying to steal my money.
Jared is getting full Vince McMahon from me the entire night.
You're fired.
But when it's like you're going through and then the cops come
Yeah.
and start knocking on the door and then you're just trying to figure something out to do. And I think that was actually the first time I had a timer going. So I see like the seconds counting down. I'm like, fuck, I need to figure something out. That was the first one that really made me sweat because I'm trying to look all over, grab everything I can, and then...
Like opening all the drawers and...
Exactly. And then you have to open one thing to trigger another option to be like, all right, it's like jump out of the window. That's, out red. Okay. I need to find something else, I guess, like when you bring the chair.
Oh,
and
yeah.
come over. And I literally had like
When did that
4 seconds to
timer
spare.
get initiated for you?
What do you mean?
So I only had like,
When I let the cops in.
well, I only had to get the chair and put it up to the vent. Like, I don't know if maybe you fuck up the operator call that the timer starts sooner or something.
The cops start banging on the door as soon as
Yeah.
they come inside.
Yeah,
Okay.
no, my I didn't fuck up the operator call, or at least I don't think I did,
I
because
didn't.
the lady on the other side seemed like, oh, okay, no problem. Like, I found that shit, but then I guess there was like some other thing that was going on that made them, come around. But yeah, that definitely put in some panic.
Nice.
Trying to think what experiences. So I had them robbing Happy Taxi. I had them robbing the burger joint.
That was a fun one.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Robbing
walking around
the-
with a pig.
The
I
little
didn't
piggy-
have that one.
You didn't have that. So they rob a burger joint, and you basically help them to kind of be like, all right, let's go around.
You collect the money.
Yeah, you collect the
Okay.
money, and then at the end, there's a lady that's like, I have a plan, and she screams her head off, and you have an option to either jump on Stan or do nothing. I jumped on him, and he's like, has a shotgun around, and like, fuck it, let's do this, and then they take the money and leave.
Nah, fuck that woman.
No, did you rat her out?
I did.
Yeah, no,
You did?
Yeah.
I knew I was getting away with the money with them, so I was like, fuck that. I'm not letting anybody intervene.
So wait, you guys left with them?
Yeah.
Like when it was,
And they give you money.
Yeah, they give you a cut.
Oh, I did not. I just.
That was the time that I made it to the border with like $400.
Okay.
Nice.
Because I let them go, and then it was just a very sad cashier. It's like, they made off with my piggy bank. That was my hopes and dreams. It's like, oh, sorry, bud. It's like you did not win there.
Damn. Yeah, my first interaction with them was literally like the very start of the game. Started on their motorcycle where you're doing the thing and you're chasing down Jared.
Oh, yeah.
That was my introduction to this game.
Wait, I did not have that one.
Oh, okay. So you're in
Yeah.
the sidecar with them.
Yeah.
And you're the taxi flies past you. They kind of explain like the idea behind like, hey, there's this guy like after Sonya or whatever.
Okay.
And then they're like, oh, we think that's him. And then you chase him down. You have to do like the
swerving
veering around
minigame.
cars. Yeah.
Huh.
And then you catch up to Jared. And then like, I forget which one of them goes off and they talk to Jared and he comes back and he's like, oh no, seemed like a nice guy.
Oh, bitch.
I was like, oh my God. But like, it was still very like sweaty. And I was like, what the fuck is happening here?
Yeah, the one of my most memorable scenes with them was where they get in the car with you while you're driving.
Oh yeah.
And,
Oh, yeah.
and they're like, oh, "Oh, Stan, it's the cops." And
That's when they robbed the laundromat.
Yeah, they're like, you gotta drive as fast as you fucking can. It's like you can slow down and have and I think get them arrested, or whatever. You have the option to slow down.
Oh, I did not have
I
an
didn't see
option.
that.
Like
You have to-
after they do the laundromat.
Yeah, you have to look down at the pedals and you can press the brake. But I was like, fuck it, boop, like just fucking drove, did the swerving thing, got away from the cop. It was interesting.
Yeah, and then Mitch gives you his fucking quiz.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
It's like, it's Mitch robbery quiz. Here we go.
The lights come down like fucking Who Wants to Be a Millionaire.
I know, right?
Yeah.
It's like, and as soon as that happened, I'm like, what the fuck is going on?
You know, you couldn't drive.
Cash cab.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Goddamn Ben Bailey! Always popping out.
You couldn't drive in the game. Like, you couldn't actually, like, control the cars ever.
No. Yeah.
But, like, I kept looking out the window. Like,
I would look out the window and then I would look at them to see what the dialogue was.
Oh, what is it? Hold on, I need to check the road. Like,
I did the same thing.
I just instinctively was constantly looking out the window to like make sure I wasn't gonna hit anything.
Right, yeah. There was one time you could actually move the car like left and right.
That wasn't the mini game.
Fanny?
No, there was
It's a reoccurring trope in the car. The move in the
when
car.
you're driving and you go left into the
I've
left
did it
lane
like
or the right lane.
5 or 6 times.
Yeah.
Oh.
Is that what you're talking about?
No, I was talking like an actual like interaction with another NPC where you were like speeding along in like a high speed chase.
Were you going into the left lane and then the right lane?
Well, yeah, with an NPC.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, with
That's
Fanny.
what we're talking about.
Yeah,
It
that's what
happens
we're talking about.
You can
That's
do it
not-
with pretty much everybody.
Yeah, you do it with
Okay,
you do it with a few
Yeah.
characters.
Okay,
What we're
okay.
talking about is
Goddamn.
there's no actual real control there. It's you're in the left lane or the right lane.
Yeah.
It's not
Yeah.
like when you're with Stan
And
and
once
Mitch and they
that's
do
over,
the
there's
game.
no more control.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's
that's
no
it, yeah.
control. Like they
Yeah.
take the control away from you.
No, you're not actually driving. Your character can spend a full 180 and be staring in the back seat and still be driving like along the curved road.
Correct.
Yeah.
And so like I still just instinctually kept looking out the front window. Like,
Yeah, because you never know. Because something could be like, oh, let me look out the window, and then you hit a fucking person or something.
Did anybody wreck a car in any of those segments?
No.
I didn't even get close. Like I was.
You mean not your car, but a different car?
Well, no. I ran into cars. Like there's a health meter of the vehicle.
Yeah,
that you're
no,
racing.
I didn't
No.
destroy my own car at any time.
Okay.
No.
I was in a car accident. Like totaled I was in a car when it got totaled.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, same. Same.
I didn't have that.
Yeah.
We'll call that when we get to that character.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we'll stay on Stan and Mitch right now.
Yeah. I thought they were kind of cool.
Yeah, and then you had like the hideout. Did you guys see their hideout?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You didn't see their hideout?
I'm going to
It was just like a disheveled building that was like torn down, and they were like had like a TV.
Yeah.
Sick the beast on them, Stan. Or
Yeah,
sick the
like you
beast
like
on
fall
them,
through
Mitch.
a board or whatever. Like you're trying to like walk over them to get. It's like right at the end of the road, trying to get to the border.
Yeah, and they pretty much rob you right before you go over.
Yeah.
You're like,
Yeah.
Fuck.
Yep.
There goes all my money.
And then you help them, and then they give you some money back.
Yeah, but it's not nearly as much as they took from you.
Yeah.
No, it's not. It's like,
it's
here's
pretty
$20.
brutal.
It's
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
fuck you, I had 60.
Yeah.
Yeah. I had 115. They
Nice.
gave me 20 back. It was like you motherfuckers.
I never really needed that much money at the end of the game, though. It was
No, if you had like
needed to
40
use
bucks, you were good.
You only ever need it to fuel up, like buy food.
Yeah.
If you're going to do any of the health activities, or you need a bunch of money to pay for the coyote.
Yeah.
Either that or you can pay a trucker $50 to stash you in the back of his truck.
Okay.
Which I only saw when I was looking at, like, because I wanted to check all the different possible endings for the game. So one of them was you can bribe a trucker to
Just
stow away in the back, and then you still do the regular, like,
hide from the
motion
dog
sensor,
or whatever.
hide from the dog, and
Oh
breathing.
yeah, that's right. There was 2 truck movements.
Yeah.
I forgot I went across the truck twice. Huh. Anyways,
Memories.
yeah. And then Stan and Mitch at the end for me, was revealed that they were Sonya's brothers.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
So-
And
They and they
they're
had the
like
confrontation with Jared.
Yeah.
yeah. They're cheering her on and then like made it seem like they killed Jared, but they did not.
Nope, just his hat left behind.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Next character?
Sure.
Jared.
No, save him for last.
Yeah,
Okay.
Jared's
Okay.
got to go last.
Okay.
I didn't 100% Jared. Did anyone?
The only person I 100%ed was Zoe. You want to do Zoe?
Yeah, let's do Zoe.
Okay. Yeah.
She has a quick storyline. I think hers was only like 4 or 5 parts.
Yeah, it's not
Yeah.
much.
No.
I think they probably. I mean, I'm assuming everybody 100%ed her.
Yeah.
yeah.
They might
Yeah.
force that one.
I
don't know.
I think
I
it
think
is.
if you getting her across, well, actually, no. I think she was 100%, even in like the very last segment that I had with her.
Pretty sure hers happened in a specific order too.
Yeah.
Her segments.
Yeah, it was
they're
like-
not
First time I met her, there was at like a trailer park.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
And then one of the next ones, you were in like one of the taxis with her, and then it got
bus.
pulled a bus, And,
Bus.
and then it got pulled over.
Yep.
Yeah, and then she
Yeah.
was like, "You fucking pig."
Yeah, fucking sassy. I'm like,
Fucking
don't
pig."
do that. We can get away.
Yeah.
She's like, these fucking pigs won't fucking do anything.
You know who my
At-
fucking father is?
Asterisk, she did not use fucking, but still, it was like these pigs won't do anything. It's like,
It was
dude,
pretty close though. Like
Yeah, it
if
was.
I like,
Yeah.
I might not be remembering correctly,
I
but it does seem
ad-libbed it.
pretty accurate.
yeah. In my mind, she said fucking a lot.
Yeah.
She did. And then you find her along with like on the trail. I forget. I know there's like
She's like looking at a map to cross.
yeah,
Yeah.
And I think there was like another one like a little before that. Oh yeah, because when she's handcuffed to the van.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, at the gas station.
Yeah, yeah, and so
You let her go. Well, I mean, you have the choice. Maybe you don't.
you
have to
try.
100%.
You can try to.
I got arrested with her.
Same.
I failed to free her.
Yeah, I think I did
Yeah,
too.
I
It's like-
accidentally alerted the cops.
I did the tower and then ran around, grabbed the keys, tried to get her out, and then couldn't get her out.
Oh, but wait, but then you get rescued, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
you get
Yeah.
rescued by,
By the
the
brigades.
brigade. Yeah.
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 I think that's a
which we
fourth.
haven't really talked too much about the brigades.
I think we can cover that with
Yeah.
what's his face.
Well, it was 2 characters,
John.
I think.
Yeah.
John,
primarily.
Yeah.
and
Yeah,
Alex.
John and
yeah.
Yeah.
I'm gonna guess everybody hates.
All right, shut up, homeboy.
Yeah.
don't.
I didn't hate Alex nearly as much as another character.
Wait, are we done with Zoe or?
No, because I mean,
All right. So
So how
she-
did her story end? I guess.
Well, I mean, she was the
I don't think we can get totally into it, but
she was the there was the minister of oil,
Right.
which was like within like President Tyrak's whole thing. That she is his daughter, so she always like where it's like, oh, are you going to be taken to the pits? No, my dad's going to say something, and then I'll just be sent home to escape again. Which.
It seems like she kept trying to do it over and over and over again.
Yeah, there was a little part of me at the very end where it's like, I kind of want to escape because nothing's really going to happen to you. But I didn't because I wanted to help the brigades, which are basically not so terrorist, but they do like some pretty bad shit from the one guy. I mean, yeah, they are kind of,
pretty
they're
much a
pretty
terrorist group.
terroristy. Yeah. Political terrorists, I guess is way. They're like the IRA.
Wait, we'll talk about
Yeah.
that. I don't know. There's
Okay.
some gray area there.
Well,
Okay.
there's some gray area. I don't think necessarily everyone is a terrorist, but I think they're led by a terrorist. I think
Yeah,
Robert
yeah,
is
yeah, yeah,
Oh yeah,
100% a terrorist.
Yeah, we'll get to that.
Robert,
Well,
the leader of the brigades.
Robert or Bob, he was mentioned a couple different ways, and you meant
The guy in the cowboy hat.
Did you
Maybe.
did you play air hockey? Did you play air hockey at all?
No, I saw the air hockey table.
I played air hockey twice.
Same.
Okay, but at least with that, like, did you go into the basement for the meeting?
No.
Yeah.
Okay.
Did you ever make it to Brigade HQ?
Okay. Nope.
No, I don't think so.
Nope. All right.
Oh, man.
We'll get there.
Yeah,
we'll
we'll get
we'll
there.
circle back. We'll circle back.
reason. That's
Yeah.
a huge thing.
You're not talking about the cut scene after you get bailed out by Zoe. Or,
No.
No.
Because I know there was a meeting room there.
No, we'll bring it back.
Yeah, we'll talk about it when we cover one of
Okay.
the
All
other
right.
characters.
Fair enough.
Yeah, I think that falls under John.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think I don't know if there's other. So I don't know. She always made it seem like she met like these 6 different people and was like best friends with them in 3 hours.
She does have an important role.
Yeah,
She does.
She has. I mean, like, just not to give away the ending because it doesn't really. You find out before that, but she has dirt on the government of Pretoria,
Specifically the president.
right?
Yeah.
That could blow open his whole presidency.
With dynamite, like they did in 1986 when those boulders came down and crushed and killed people, which I don't think we ever even really mentioned too much.
Yeah, I mentioned it when I did the story opener.
Yeah. Okay.
We're talking about the characters now, but I do think we need to actually talk about like the 2 main events and the factions at least.
Yeah.
Well, I think we can wrap that in the end. I don't.
Okay. Whatever.
I think we're pretty much done with Zoe until we start
Yeah,
talking
yeah.
about the end.
we're going to Tarantino this thing. It's like, well, we'll tell you everything leading up to the end and then the
Okay,
beginning.
so we kind of beat around the bush. Let's just do John now.
Okay.
Youngblood.
Yeah, Trucker John.
Let me tell you something about that. The greatest love of my life was Connie, and now she's dead.
Met her on the sea. Met you.
Yeah, went on there. That's Mama Bear.
I was
That's the
so
one.
confused by him when like
I know
the first time I met him, he was just like drunk as fuck.
Did you know I like soccer?
Oh wait,
When he was like running, you had to race him.
was that
Yeah.
your first scene with him?
Yeah.
Yeah,
That makes
never-
no sense.
I never raced him.
Oh really?
Oh, no.
Yeah. Oh yeah. He's fucking hammered.
Oh yeah, he is.
Yeah.
So you have to race him back to his
That
trailer,
makes no sense that happened in that order.
and then you play soccer with him.
Yeah. Then he plays soccer with him. He references that later, at least in my playthrough.
Yeah, he does. Yeah, he did for mine too. Yeah, yeah. So you're just walking along, and then you hear like some noises or something, and it's like,
It literally sounds like a bear.
"Hey, are you okay?"
And you just hear. Well, for me, it was like all you heard was, "Mama Bear, Mama Bear, where are you?
Yeah, that's it. That's it.
Where are you, Mama Bear?" I'm like, "What the fuck?"
What the fuck?
So-
yep.
Wait, that was in your first segment?
That was my first segment.
That
meeting
was
John.
Yeah, same.
Okay, so my first segment with him was you're riding in the truck with him, and that's when you hear him talking to Mama Bear on the radio, and you convince him to
Has he
ask
fallen
her-
asleep?
No.
Is that a different
No,
segment?
That was
No,
different.
this sounds
It was
like
a different one
something
where you're convincing him to ask her out on a date.
Oh, okay. That happened really late for me.
And then the reason he
Same.
gets drunk is because he bailed on the date because he got nervous.
Oh, I never even got this one.
That's
so
the
in
whole
my playthrough, they referenced him bailing on a date
After.
after it, but he referenced it happening previously.
yeah. So
He was like, "Oh yeah, I blew it the last time. I never showed up."
Yeah. Yeah. I got that at like the very fucking end.
Yeah.
And I never knew what he fucking meant.
so like that's weird that this is another one of those characters that I think should have been played in a very specific order because there's like the whole scene where you're
I didn't have a problem with my playthrough.
I don't know, it just seems
I didn't
odd
either.
knowing more information about it.
I got you. I'm picking up what you're putting down.
But no, like there's like the part of asking her out on a date, and then I think there's a part where you can kind of affect part of the date or something like that. And then there's the one where he doesn't show up to the date, and then there's another one where you convince him to give it another try, kind of thing. Like,
Those were all different segments for you?
yeah,
Damn.
Mine were all based around like met him, got the drink like power up or whatever.
Yeah, the Omen.
Yeah,
He's
the
fucking
Omen.
falling asleep while driving.
Yeah. Goddamn, don't do that, man.
And then him trying to convince Alex not to build the bomb.
Right.
And then there was me having to go into the back of a truck with a nail gun and
Yeah.
stop
Yep.
and stop the police from getting him.
That was the
Yeah.
the police.
Yeah.
I had a robber that was
with
trying to.
the nail
No.
gun.
Yeah, I had
Okay.
police as well.
Yeah.
With the nail gun because they had found that he had the
transmitter?
The transmitter.
Yeah.
My
Yeah.
nail gun experience was completely different.
I think I had
couple.
2 nail gun experiences.
I had
Yeah,
one with
same.
Alex,
The other one
too.
with Alex. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, I didn't get that.
Yeah.
I had a
no, I got
robber
Alex, but not
trying to
Chubb.
come
The
after
pirates?
the pirates, not
Yeah.
a
Oh,
cop.
maybe that's what it was.
Yeah,
The road pirates.
It
That
might have
was-
been a road
that was
pirate.
the same-
It
Pirates.
looked like a fucking cop.
That was
Yeah.
the same segment where he asks her on a date.
Yes, it
You're
is.
right. You're right.
Okay. Which is why I don't know either of these.
Where is he at the end for you guys?
Wait, we're not doing the full endings yet, are
No.
we? Okay.
Well, we talked about Sonya's end at the end of the.
No. John doesn't. John is on like the very end for me.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, there's like a part 1 end and a part 2 end.
Yeah,
in a
yeah,
way.
there is.
Yeah.
Yeah, there is. Jinx. You
So what else? Oh, so we should talk about the brigade hideout then, with John.
Yeah.
So so you're in a bar, right? I forget how the scene starts.
You walk up to the bar.
Yeah.
And it's like a lot of them where you start walking up to a random location. And this
Yeah.
one is like Shanky's Burger Shack. I don't
Oh, that's
fucking
right.
know.
And there's like the fucking
I'm not eating
There,
anything
there's
from
that.
Shank.
Yeah, I know, right? There's the dude
there's
that's
a bouncer outside, and you're like, why is there a bouncer at 3:00 in the afternoon? And,
Yeah.
like-
It's like-
and he's like, we're closed, and he's like, and you're like, there's like 15 people inside.
It's
What are
like
you talking
I
about?
hear music inside. He's like, I don't know what music you're talking about, and then you could just tell him it's like, I need to use the bathroom. He's like, oh yeah, the skinny guy in the taxi said the same thing. It's like, oh, Jared. But
Oh God, Jared's around.
yeah, I know. Yeah. I pooped a little. I'm like, oh god, we're looking for a crossover.
He's in the bathroom.
Yeah.
If you go in and look underneath one of the stalls, you can see his.
taking a piss.
You can see his shoes, and you can hear him mumbling.
Oh, of
great.
course you fucking can. That's terrifying.
I didn't even go to the bathroom.
No, but you walk into the bar and then apparently John is running the fucking air hockey table, and then you get to play John in air hockey, and then beat him 3-0. And he's like, "Are you on the Olympic team?"
I only beat him 3-2.
You beat him 3-2.
Yeah.
Oh, I shut him out. God damn, Joe.
Same.
I had a couple of times, when you're playing air hockey, one just like comes in at like a real shallow angle.
Just go like this.
Dude, my thing was moving slow as fuck. Oh, you played on mouse and keyboard, didn't you?
No, I use a controller.
Oh, dude, my little whatever the fuck you hold in your hand on air hockey thing is called was moving really slow. So I had to like
Paddle.
I had to really preemptively like aim shit.
All right, Joe's hand-eye coordination sucks. Apparently,
It wasn't hand-eye coordination. It just
Okay.
moved really slow.
I just used my mouse for it. I was like playing with my
Oh, did
controller,
you?
and I was just like, yeah, I'm gonna.
oh,
This
that's
is way
actually not a
faster,
bad
like-
idea.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah.
So
I
yeah,
was smoking people because I
Okay.
think the game was calibrating that I had a controller.
Okay.
And then it's all of a sudden secret weapon mouse. It's just smoking people.
Nice.
So basically, after beating John, and it's like, the little banter shit back and forth, you meet Robert, which is like this creepy fucking old dude. And he's like, oh, the kid's got gumption or something, like talking you up, kind of against John. And then he's like, get the kid a drink. You guys,
Yeah, I
did you
took the
guys,
drink.
you
Yeah.
took the drink and then
Yep.
you passed the fuck out. It's called
Yep.
a
Yeah.
martyr. And what'd you put in it? Everything. You
Yeah.
wake up from your drunken stupor and there's creepy fucking Robert over top of you, like, I got something to show you. And it's like this.
He's got
guy's-
like a map drawn out and on like a pool table or something.
and it points to his dick. It doesn't.
Was this Cosby?
Yeah, I got something to show you with the martyr and the jello pudding in the bombs.
touch you inappropriately.
So it basically like does like a one of like the secret bookshelf things where you pull a book back. There's the secret door. You head in the back. Now you're in like the brigade's like HQ, and they're like, "All right, well, we're gonna plant a shit ton of bombs on this billboard and kill a bunch of cops." And John's like, "I don't really think that's such a good idea." And Robert's like, "We can build the bomb. They need to pay. We're gonna fucking kill them. Let's hold a vote." So the,
he's actually like, well, I've already got the bomb being built already, so we're gonna use it.
Yeah.
He pretty much informs John, who's like second in command of the brigade. He informs him like, hey, we're gonna kill a bunch of cops
yeah,
with a bomb.
he's been
We're
waiting
gonna-
for a hit on Billboard TV, and it just so happens to have a giant amount of bombs, and then that's just going to kill a bunch of people.
Yeah.
That's about it.
Just a bunch of bombs falling out of shit
Hit bo-
wood and hitting cement.
Hitting pavement.
Hitting the pavement. Anyway,
We don't have to ask permissions. They have no souls.
So the thing that bothers me about this scene is, so when this happens, like they obviously get into an argument, and then they're like, "Well, let's vote on it." And there's 6 people around, not counting you, and they vote on it, and it ends in a 3-3 vote, and they're like, "Well, fuck it, let's ask the kid." And John's like, "Oh, that's why you brought the kid in. You wanted the kid on your side, right?" And then you get to vote what they're going to do, and I don't think it matters.
It does not.
No. Oh, no.
I voted to not use the bomb.
I did as
and,
well.
And Robert's like, nah, get the fuck out of here.
Yeah,
It probably builds towards one of the endings that are possible.
Yeah. No,
Yeah,
it does.
it probably
does.
does.
It does. I'm trying to think if there's
Just
really
like
any
the
big-
voting board always changes at the beginning of a chapter.
yeah. The current poll stands.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I mean that depends
Mine was
on
like
your
all in the
anarchy.
abstain
Same.
category.
Really?
Yeah.
That's actually how you get the Flores victory. You have to get a bunch of people to abstain by vandalizing Tyrak propaganda.
Interesting.
It's a big swing vote. Basically, depending the thing that happens at the end.
Let's come back to that.
Yeah.
I just want to briefly touch on the voting system so we don't have to talk about it again.
Okay.
Basically, if you can get everybody to abstain, based on your ending, the abstained will vote for one or the other. Just very abstractly, like things happen where you could see one person getting voted for Flores over Tyrak. But you have to like kind of push all of that stuff to fruition. And then if you get that ending and you have enough abstained, they all vote for Flores, and Flores would win over Tyrak, or vice versa.
Yeah, I didn't vandalize anything the entire time, and it came out with like Flores
Interesting.
victory.
I'm really curious what your ending was now, Clark.
Yeah, I don't know if there's much else for John rather than like the full ending.
There's a lot of questions I
Yeah.
want to ask now, so I just want to move on and back to the characters, because they're all about the ending.
Yeah.
All right.
Is that enough for Papa Bear? Do we move to Mama Bear now?
Yeah, let's move to
Bear.
Papa Bear,
Mama Bear, is that you?
Mama Bear, that you
Mama
out there?
Bear, is that you?
Let me tell you something, young blood. I met the woman that I love, but she's on the other side.
My colony.
I don't know. No, Connie's dead. No, there'll never be another Connie. But there's Mama Bear. Here's Mama Bear. Sorry, young blood.
Fuck Mama Bear. Fuck Fanny. I hate Fanny.
I like to fuck the Fanny too.
She was playing both sides too much for me, I think.
Yeah.
I don't even think she was playing both sides.
Nah.
I think she was sympathetic towards the border crossers and that, but she was diehard against the brigade at all costs, no matter what, and she was against. Well, I guess it's just the brigades because the emitter thing is the brigade. So
Yeah.
That's from her perspective, it's not a terrible thing.
Yeah.
I mean, like we don't like partially. I mean, speaking of the news right now, we're not like partial to ISIS. Like, like
They have
they have some good people in there. like,
I'm just saying that like
it's a weird line for her because she knows what's happening to the teens, which we get in like
The pits and everything.
exactly.
Yeah.
She knows that, but there is another part of her where she's like,
I gotta do my job.
it's like I got to do my job, but it's like where she's like she cuts you breaks where breaks don't necessarily have to be cut. So that's where she's a very, very conflicted character,
Yeah.
in my opinion.
I
at
didn't
least.
have a single scene where she was completely loyal to like the government. Like I had a scene where she let one of the kids go when things get heated in the one bus ride.
Yeah.
If you guys had that one.
Oh, yeah.
She ended up letting the kid go.
Pulls a gun on you. She pulled a gun on me, at least.
She pulled a gun on me,
Yeah.
and she got out with the kid, called for backup, and took him.
Yeah.
Oh, well,
I had the same as Clark.
I didn't. My scene was like
We worked it out.
Yeah, we worked it out, and she was like, never mind. My car broke down. I'll
Yeah.
be taking the bus." That's
And
how,
she gets off at the next stop.
So I had a different perspective on like, I and I had one where she just needed to talk to somebody.
Yeah.
When her car was broken
when
down?
Her car was broken down. You're
Yeah.
changing the tire for
tire,
her.
yeah.
I don't know if you guys got the mangoes or whatever out of the fucking tree.
No, I didn't see that.
It was just like
Wait, what?
free vitality. I picked a mango out of the tree, and then it was like a luck roll.
Oh, the tree that her car was
yeah,
parked under?
yeah. You shake the tree, and
Yeah.
a fruit falls out, and then I had another
shit.
luck roll, and I got it, and a second one falls out.
Oh,
of the tree.
nice.
So I
Oh,
like
wow.
filled up in vitality while having the conversation
Nice.
with her. What were some of the other ones where she chases after somebody that robbed a, I don't think it was the S&M brothers, but
Yeah, you're in the police chase after her car breaks down again. And
yeah,
I was in
Yeah.
I was in a stolen car.
yes.
And she gets in and you chase somebody down.
Like she pulled you over, and did she pull you over
Yes,
first?
she pulled
Yeah,
you
yeah,
over.
yeah.
Okay, because she pulled me over,
Which sucks because
and then her car got shot up by like the Black Brigades, where they're like the more radical, like
Yeah.
where they like promote more violence. Because
I
there's
don't
like
remember
they're
how
like
that scene started, but that's possible.
well, so
I think
The
I
one-
think it's just the Black Brigade.
The
I,
one
I
where-
don't think there's a distinction between the
Yeah.
brigade and the Black Brigade.
okay.
the one where she pulls you over though, which kind of irritated me, is you have to go fast in the car, and it doesn't give you an option to progress the story until you go fast. Like you could just drive at normal speed.
She's like, you know how fast you were going?
yeah, which I knew this was going to happen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just
Oh,
like
yeah,
go
that's
fast, and
right.
you're like,
We're like,
oh,
I'll
I'm
go
gonna get
fast.
pulled
It's
over.
like, I don't want to.
As soon as I before I even did that, I opened the glove box and there was papers in there, and I was like, oh, something's gonna happen.
Yeah.
I'm gonna need these.
Here's a registration. It's like
And I was like,
just
I already
look real
grabbed
young.
That's the scene where I got the government badge though, because after she gets out of the car, it like falls out of her
Yeah.
pocket.
I didn't get that.
She tells you to leave. So like after, because it's pretty much like
Because she
She pulls
involved
you
you
over.
in criminal activities.
yeah, she pulls you over. Her car gets shut up. She hops in the passenger side and says, "You need to follow him."
Yeah,
so it's like,
okay, yeah,
all right.
yep.
And then that's where you're doing like the left and right on the road, going back and forth. I was
Yeah,
so
switching
pissed.
lanes.
I only hit one car, and I wonder if there was an achievement to not hit anything, but I did not give a shit enough to replay it over again.
I found that it was nearly impossible to avoid every car.
Yeah.
It was mine hit like very early on, and then it's after that I was golden. But it's like I'm already this fucking far. I'm not.
I would clip
going
it with the
back.
back of the car coming back in almost every
gotcha.
time.
But there were some that were like parallel, and I'm like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
where? There is no middle fucking option on this one.
Yeah.
They were around. But then at the very end of that, then she basically because you flip the brigade's car, and then they go like rolling over like the top, like
Yeah.
fucking Dukes of Hazzard type shit. And then she tells you to go, and she left her government pass
Yeah,
on
yeah, yeah.
which I never fucking used for anything after that scene. I had no.
Oh, really?
You can use it to cross the border.
Yeah.
Now I know, but yeah, no, I had nothing to really use for it because I had already crossed the border before that. So.
You can use it to get like access to certain things, and also like scratchers. There's like a certain set of scratchers that are only for government employees.
Yeah,
No.
yeah, you can't. You can find scratchers and use them, but you can't buy them unless
Gotcha.
you have that ID.
Yeah, I found a bunch of scratchers, but
Yeah.
yeah, not so much. And
So
then-
the other big, in my opinion, kind of turning point with her is the motel.
okay, yeah,
Didn't have this.
Where she's she's
this was
trying
my
to get
least
you to,
percentage character.
Okay.
okay.
So you come upon a hotel as one of your scenes, or motel, whatever.
Motel. It's like a
Holiday
shitty
Inn.
roadside. Yeah,
yeah.
when your girlfriend is acting up, then you take her friend.
So,
Yikes.
yeah, yikes.
Really?
Yeah, I know.
Okay, thank you.
See them next week at the Super Bowl. No, whatchamacallit. Yeah, so you come upon the hotel and she's there, and immediately thought of the Always Sunny meme where he's got like all the things on the wall with the rope between all the pictures and shit like that.
The fucking string going back.
Yeah,
and
Charlie.
forth.
Who is Pepe Sylvia?
She's got all this shit on the wall just like that, if you know what I'm talking about.
Okay.
And she's trying to put everything together, like where's this transmitter, who are the Black Brigades, like all this shit. And she's like, I know they stay here in this motel, like blah blah blah. She's like, but I can't get anything out of these other hotel guests, so you have to like walk around to the other hotel guests and like interrogate
Knock
them.
door to door.
Yeah.
God damn it, that's one of my favorite memes. Sylvia. Fun fact: Do you know why he says Pepe Sylvia and why are all these addressed? Why I get all these letters and they're all addressed to Pepe Sylvia? It's because Charlie's dyslexic. It's Pennsylvania.
Yeah.
Not a lot of people realize that, but that's
Pepe
what.
Silva.
Yeah, Pepe
Pennsylvania.
Sylvia. It's Pennsylvania. He's just fucking wildly dyslexic.
It's amazing.
Love it.
So yeah, that was an interesting point.
Yeah, because she gives you like a full it's a full
You're playing Guess Who.
poster. Yeah. Oh yeah.
Damn it.
Yeah.
So as you go door to door, they're like, it was a man with a beard, and you cross out everybody that doesn't have a beard.
And it's like, he had a square face, and they're like, oh, this circle and flat
fuck
face.
this
Get
round
outta here.
guy.
Yeah.
So I have a
Is
question.
your character gay? Yes, it's Alex.
Oh man.
I don't know if you could picture a Guess Who board from the 90s, but
It's
Alex.
It's Alex.
Jesus.
Deep cuts.
With the board, what were you going to say?
So when you guys completed that, did you lie to her?
Yes.
There was an X on every single picture.
Oh really?
Yeah.
I didn't get that far.
Oh, no.
I had 2 people left, and I had intentionally, like, when I think it was the second or third person I talked to, I intentionally crossed off the wrong set of people.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Yep, I did the same thing.
Because you could see on the
protect
board, it's-
John.
Yeah,
Yeah, same.
you could look on the board and it's like, oh, there's John, and they're like, oh, because you're interviewing the other people staying there, and they're like, oh yeah, I saw the guy in 103. He had a beard, and then you have to select like what they actually had, and if you selected what they didn't have, it would just cross off like a whole
Other
list of
people.
other people, and by the end, I think there's like 3 people that you can ask that you can like cross out descriptions and whatnot. And by the end of it, I had everybody crossed off.
Huh, interesting.
And the receptionist for the motel actually stopped me before I
Yeah.
knocked on Fanny's door, and she's like, "What do you do?"
She's like, I know what you're doing.
Yeah, she's like, "I know what you're doing." I'm like, "What are you talking about?" She's like, "You're," and then stopped mid sentence, like, "Oh, you crossed off everybody." Okay, I said nothing. And then that was the end of my interaction with
interesting.
her. Yeah.
that's cool.
And then I went back into, knocked on Fanny's room. And she's like, everybody's crossed off the list. And then my reply was like, I only did what you told me to do. It's like, and then she still ends up giving you money anyway.
Yeah. Yeah, she gave me money too. I had 2 people left.
Okay.
But like while we were having that interaction, I thought it was weird. Because like there was another point where I was like, oh God, I gotta lie to her again.
Oh, yeah.
So the receptionist is one of the people in the brigade hideout
Yeah.
Okay.
that votes, and she's one of
yeah.
the ones that vote with John. And I did the Guess Who thing to a T, where it was like it's John and 2 other people.
Yeah.
And I started walking back, and she's like, "You got to cross that off." And my intention was to not hand it over or do something, because I know you could like manipulate it after the fact. And she's like, "Oh, you got to change your answers. You got to change your answers." She's like, You got to understand, ever since Robert came into the picture, the brigades have been different than what they set out to be when John created them. And I'm like, yep, I get it. I 100% get it.
Yeah.
Interesting.
I see that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, because
Oh,
there
yeah.
aren't people that want to be this like terrorist group like
Super
Robert
radical,
wants.
yeah.
There are people that want just to enact change.
Right.
And I was
Not
like,
through violence.
yeah. And I was like, okay, yeah.
Yeah.
And then she was like, please just change your answers. And I'm like, all right, cool.
Now, when you went into the room with Fanny and you gave her like the description, Alex calls, and she okay, yeah,
Yeah.
Same with yours. Alex
Yep.
calls, and then she's on the phone, and then you see John's
pull in.
big rig come in, and then the receptionist runs out. So
waving him
basically,
away, and he like fucking speeds off.
you take
Go,
all
go,
your
go.
findings into Fanny, and then you're talking with her, and then Alex calls, and they're having their own conversation.
She's like distracted, like off at the back of the room, so she's not looking out the window, which is wide open.
And then your field of view goes to out the window, and you just see John's big rig pull in, and the receptionist run out and just waving off like, "No, don't do it," and then just pulls out again. He's like,
Yeah.
"I'm gonna come. Oh, fuck this."
Damn
He,
it!
like, darted
I'm
out, too.
upset because that sounds like a really cool scene.
It kind of
It
was,
is.
because
It was a
then
cool
Fanny
scene.
comes back and it's like, "What was that outside?" And like, "I don't know, I didn't see anything." She's like, "Oh, I don't know how people sleep in this damn place,"
Yeah,
or
yeah,
something
yeah.
like that. And it's like,
She's
yeah.
like, all this damn noise.
Yeah, it's like, "I don't know either." Then she's like, "All right, well, thanks for your help. Here's money." It's like, "Cool, I just lied to you, but thanks for the
Thanks.
$20.
Yeah, that was a pretty cool scene.
Yeah.
I did not like Fanny because I don't think her opinion of the brigade changes when she realizes that Papa Bear is John and John's part of the brigade.
Yeah.
She is still a completely unyielding in the all brigades are bad. And then even when she finds out Alex was helping the brigades, it's still all brigades are bad.
Okay, let's
I
wait
wouldn't
for
say
that
any more
one.
than that.
That's where I wanted to just leave off the discussion with Fanny and why I don't like her
Okay.
at all.
See, I have a
Let's-
different ending though. So.
While we're
Yeah,
leaving that
we'll-
there till
yeah.
ending time. All right. I don't know if I have any other
I don't have anything else about Fanny. I don't
interactions
think.
about
Let's,
Fanny.
let's
No.
move on to Alex then.
Yeah, let's move on to fucking Alex.
Ex-mom.
What's up, ex-mom?
Home girl. Yeah, dog. Yeah, yo. This is the most fucking annoying character in the whole goddamn game.
Yep.
I mean,
Oh my god, I fucking hated Alex.
because he's 14. 14-year-olds are the worst.
Not even that. I wasn't even this fucking annoying at 14. God damn
You
it.
didn't have to deal with yourself.
I was wearing that silver bling.
Oh my
Yeah.
fucking god. I could not, from the first interaction until the very last. I can't.
His fucking Nintendo DS with a fucking satellite antenna on it. Just constantly slamming
no,
keys.
exactly. No, I fucking can't. And because I think the first character my first playable character that I played through was a girl. It was like, yeah, home girl. All right, home girl. Like every third fucking sentence, like,
Yeah.
I want to kill this fucking kid. And I tried. I'll tell you, I tried. When like you're in with Alex when he's like doing the bomb shit and you have the nail gun and following through like the tiles. I forgot who said they had that gun. Yeah, I tried to see if I can shoot him with the nail gun. You can't.
Yeah.
They don't allow you. You can shoot everything else. You pointed at him, can't shoot him. I'm sad about that.
I don't think there's a lot of memorable stuff with him. I know that I know what what they're trying to do with him, what they're trying to invoke with him.
Yeah.
What's that, homegirl?
Is the whole like I'm just trying to find out about my real parents. My parents were killed in a tragedy and I don't know anything about them. You know, stuff like that. And like that stuff is kind of touching and I kind of get what they're trying to go for. But his character is so goddamn annoying that it
Just kills it.
And I really, really, really don't like the stereotype that he is.
I don't care about stereotype the rest of it. I just wish I got the different ending so I could watch that thing happen.
If they would have just toned him down to be a somewhat normal teenager, it could have been a much...
Yeah, it's just he's an Asian child being raised by a black mother, and he fits the like Asian gangster stereotype that was like really popular in the 90s.
Yeah, he's so like accentuated to a completely different level with just the dog.
I think it's.
Yo.
I'll be completely honest. I think that character is actually borderline offensive.
Yeah.
It is the French.
I didn't really think about it until we were just talking about it, and like,
It is. That was it. That is a stereotype.
Yeah, no, I'm not arguing that point.
Yeah.
I'm just saying,
you're from the
like
you're
his
from
character.
the West you're from the East Coast. I'm from the far East Coast. It just reminded me of what is that? Not Another Teen Movie or some shit.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Was he
Yes.
Asian though?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
And all
I
the-
mean,
and all
for
the
making him the techie kid, then yes, it is offensive if he's Asian. I wasn't picturing him as.
I'm
Asian.
not talking about the techie part of being Asian. I'm
Well,
talking.
no, I hear you. I'm just saying like that's a stereo. Like then they're leaning into multiple stereotypes.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Even just going past that, it's just he's
don't
just
like
an
him. I
annoying
just don't
fucking
care.
character. It's like all the I did not even think of any of that when it came to it. It was like, okay, here's a genius kid, 14, okay, who calls me fucking homegirl, and
He's really
just-
out
I
of touch
can't.
with reality and the gravity of anything that he is doing.
yeah,
Yeah.
which makes me glad when I beat him at the game he developed, and then
Pong.
No, not Pong, the Tanks game.
Yeah, tanks.
Oh, I didn't play that one.
Okay, there was one where it's like my first encounter with Alex was he just developed like a game, and then you help him like beta test it,
Oh, okay.
and then it's like, oh well, what if we put in like ricochet bullets or invisible bullets or something else? I killed him out of the way,
That's weird.
and then later on you play him in Pong with the W, and I beat him there too. So it's like my small victories over Alex because I can't stand that
his
fucking
his
kid.
story had like
Dog.
no memorable like spots to it.
It was to tie. It was to be like a wow moment when you find out he's tied in with multiple characters.
Yeah.
yeah.
But like other than that, like
My first interaction with Alex, it was the first one of the game. My game opened up with Alex.
Same.
And it was him picking you up, and he's driving a van that I think he stole.
Oh, he's driving the van at that point.
Yes.
Oh.
And he's like,
I didn't have that scene.
oh, it was like heartfelt, and he's talking about like, I'm just out here looking for my parents. Oh, that's my ex-mom. Like, I don't really have a good
Hey,
relationship
I
with
had
her.
that one.
But-
Yeah.
and I was like, cool. This character is going to be interesting. and that
Were
was
you wrong?
I was super wrong. I
Yeah.
was super wrong. But I feel like for me, Alex started out as this like, okay, I get what he's trying to accomplish. Like I understand it, and then just everything else after that for me was just really annoying, Alex.
See, I feel like I was on the opposite end because I had hitchhiked or got a bus or something, and then he was in there. He was in the bus, and then
In the back.
And then
Yeah,
you gotta,
in the
and
back.
he's helping John, right?
Yeah.
Check on the situation. Well,
no.
There's two scenes where you're in a
No,
bus with him.
there's a
Yeah,
couple. The
you're
first
right.
one was like making the game, and then he did have a communication with
Okay.
John at some point, but it wasn't involved at all. The whole thing was based around like the game he's making. Mm-hmm. And then later, as his story progressed, I feel like I got Alex's story as the progression should have happened 80% of the way. Like, I feel like there was one or two scenes that may have been swapped, but there was, like, you know, where it's like, all right, this is weird kid. He's a techie kid, smart kid. And he's going to pop up again at some point. We'll go from there. And so one may have been from that. The other was meeting him in the burger place and him having, like, his hacking codes and trying to find out about his parents. And then it went into, like, him doing the bomb, like, in the old broken down gas station, whatever it is.
Yeah.
And then kind of going from there. But I still knew from the very first interaction, I cannot stand this character. It's like, I get what they're trying to do with the story, and it is interesting to a certain extent. And then you start to see where Fanny and John both kind of had, like, here's the same information. You know, they both have the same information that they're both not telling them because they want to protect them. And then that could lead into other circumstances.
Yeah.
Not my own, but it could lead into it. So that's at least where I like his story and kind of the way it plays out. I don't like
The character.
him as a character.
Yeah.
And the way he's played it out. I feel like that could have been done a lot better as, like, a child genius of an IQ of 180 at 14 years old who can do this type of shit. I don't know.
His character could have been great, but they leaned too much into the stereotype and made him really, really annoying.
It could have been. I mean, it's just.
I still preferred him over Sonya, though. I'm gonna be honest.
Okay.
I could not stand her.
All right, there you go. Hey, everybody has their own, so
I think it depends on the scene for me.
Yeah.
kinda. And I think just having so many different scenes with these characters really kind of shapes their image in our eyes, how we see them, like
Right.
and really kind of like paints a different picture of like what we think of them as a character or as the person.
Man, one thing we did not touch on with Fanny was, did anyone actually sorry, I know this is an aside, but
That's
I figure
right,
we're
whatever.
about to get to Jared, so
Yeah.
I want to get this in because I don't want to interrupt the Jared stuff. With Fanny, was anyone a part of the crash
Yeah.
where she goes to the emitter and the bomb explodes and the car flips and you have to save her or the kid?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. Okay. So
Who'd you save?
Fanny.
Same.
So
I really wish I would have saved the
What
kid.
kid? Just a random
a
A
kid?
just
kid
some
that she had arrested.
just another
Oh,
random
okay.
kid, like some of the
Yeah.
other ones that come along. I feel like some of them are kind of like placeholders if you help out or do like different other things in the story.
Yeah.
But the whole thing where they're talking about rigging the bomb to a billboard and drawing cops to that area and blowing up the billboard to kill a bunch of cops. What Clark and I did is we were actually in the car with Fanny when she responded to the disturbance call or whatever it is on like Road 42 or whatever the fuck it is. It was like a different road.
Yeah.
And then
Petria's Road.
yeah, and you're driving in, like you're driving to it, and the billboard like explodes at the support pole, and it all comes down, smashes the car, and you have to kind of like struggle your way out of the car, and then you have a decision of either saving Fanny or random teen.
So who'd you save?
Fanny.
Who'd you save, Clark?
I saved Fanny as well, although I really wish I would have saved the kid.
I don't think
I
Fanny would
really
die, though.
interested.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know how that would, because I didn't see any other. If anything, I feel like she would probably still make it out one way or another.
Yeah.
It would just come back on you. You'd be like, oh, well, you didn't pull me out of the car. Blah, blah, blah.
She might arrest you for not saving her or something.
Right?
Who knows? I
But-
don't know. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
My thinking of that, I don't know about yours, was I've never seen this kid before. She's playing a part in the story, so I'm going to let the story progress. 'Cause
I
wanna
only
see it.
rescued her, I think, because I only had like 55% of her story completed, and I was like, I kind of want to see
Oh,
if you're going to go
okay.
somewhere.
Yeah. I didn't even think about the percentages and the rest
Yeah,
of
I
it.
didn't really worry about it.
But in a way, I'm like, all right, well, there's going to be more to the story, I think, if I save her. And I was trying to give her a pass because I'm like, I think she can kind of turn it around and not be a cop. But we'll see.
Anything else about Fanny?
So now we're on me.
Can we go around and talk about what our first scene with Jared was?
I already mentioned mine when we were talking about Stan and Mitch.
He picked me up in a taxi.
Okay.
That's fun.
My first interaction with this crazy motherfucker was with the meter, like his anger meter.
Oh, okay.
boy.
Okay.
Yeah,
Nice.
yeah.
I think that was my second. I mean, like, you could kind of count the Stan and Mitch thing. It's because I saw him. They explained kind of who he was. My second one was that one. Though.
Yep, I had no idea anything about him until I just got in the car and he started asking me questions. I'm like, all right, this is kind of fucking weird. It's like, "Hey, let me tell you about something." I'm like, always getting mad. And then the little meter
You're like
popped
dinosaurs.
up. Like, what the fuck is going on? And then, luckily enough, I did not piss him off enough to shoot me, because I went back and I tried to look at like some of the things, and apparently it's like, all right, well, I made my decision or some shit, and he just turns around and fucking blasts you.
Yeah.
He just ended up letting me go. But
You could probably die in every one of his scenes.
Probably.
it wouldn't surprise me.
my first scene with him, I don't think I could have died. We were in a public place though. So
What was yours?
my first scene was I broke into I walked into a bar, and this one guy was like, oh, we don't have anyone tending bar. Do you want to make some money, kid? And I was just
Oh
like,
yeah,
I was
you
like,
have to serve them drinks.
oh yeah.
Oh,
So that's the first time that I
that's
met
neat.
Jared. I'm like serving other patrons.
you have to go around and you have to grab bottles off the shelves and mix drinks and
Yeah.
stuff.
Mixed
Oh
drinks.
shit, that
Yeah.
sounds fun.
So then Jared comes in, sits down. Every other patron stands up from the bar, walks off, and the manager comes up to you and is like, "Yo, you need to make sure that you get his drink right." I was like, "Oh, okay." And then he starts talking. If you make him drinks correctly, I think he asked for what, 2 or 3 drinks. Mm-hmm. If you make them correctly, he starts talking to you more about himself, and
Okay.
it's really fucking interesting. Because the first thing he said to me was like, "Hey, did you know there's someone going around killing people out on the roads? You better be careful if you're hitchhiking." Like, it was just like, oh my God.
Okay.
Oh my God. It's you, obviously.
Is it at the end of that scene as well where he's like, "Don't call any taxis"?
Yes, it is. Yeah.
Yeah.
I called so many taxis. So did I. I called so many
I
taxis.
stopped at that point.
Wait, did you get the thing where you had like the anger meter, like
Yeah,
where
a
you
few-
had
a few times.
Yeah.
Okay.
Not at the bar. Not at the bar.
no,
Though.
not at the bar, but like
Yeah.
in the taxi where
That's
he has the guy in the trunk.
Yep.
Yeah,
Yes.
I got that one.
Okay.
Yeah.
He rolls
Okay.
through the seat, pops his head out.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
just wanted to
like,
throw that out just in
help
case,
me.
like the guy that pops his head out of the seat.
Every time it pops up, is like, "Did you hear anything back there?" Just do the ...
No.
Like, nope. Didn't hear shit back there.
What was
I
that?
could play
No, it's
along
just
with you all night.
It was. It must have been my stomach.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
So he keeps talking about himself, and then I was playing a female character at the time, and he's like, "You look like a girl I used to know," and I'm like, "Oh God, oh God!" I didn't realize he was talking about his daughter.
all I know
Right.
is ball and sit and rape.
But yeah. So that was my first interaction with Jared,
Oh,
and
fun.
I thought it set up the character perfectly.
Yeah.
Because of just this guy who was just like, the only time that he sounded angry with me was when he was like, "Can you make that a little bit faster?" And I'm like literally going as fast as I can.
Okay,
He's like,
okay.
I want it a little faster." I'm like, oh, okay, yep.
You know what the most annoying part about that scene was when you're making those drinks?
he was also the biggest tipper. Fun fact.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
So when you're making those drinks, the annoying part is there's like, what, 10 bottles probably?
There's 10 bottles and like 6 recipes.
Yeah.
Okay.
So if you like walk around and you're looking for a bottle and you like mentally remember where something is, as soon as you pick up a bottle, all the bottles rearrange.
Yeah.
That's
What?
stupid.
So like if you were like, oh, like Homeland it was on the top shelf on the end, and you grab the first one and the second one's Homeland, you pour the first part of the drink and you go that spot where you saw Homeland, it's not there anymore. It's
Yeah.
somewhere else. So like it would just make making drinks take longer.
It was how they gamified it, you know?
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
it's-
It was okay, but like in that moment where he's like rushing you, it just added to this, and you're like,
yeah,
fuck.
this intensity. You're like,
Yeah.
oh god.
There's always intensity with this fucking guy. Like, did you have the one where you're going? Sorry, no, go ahead.
Yeah,
go
so
ahead.
my
Hold on,
first
real-
scene.
real quick. Did you have to make him the final drink? Do you remember what the final drink was called? The martyr.
Yeah.
You have to make him a martyr.
You do?
Yeah,
All right.
with one of everything.
Yeah.
It was interesting just because like
It
the
com-
brigade.
it-
It's like the brigade drink that they use to knock you out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he just sips on it like it's nothing.
Of course he does.
Yeah.
He's drunk the whole time.
See-
Your
see,
first
what was
encounter?
yours?
So anyway, I was at a motel. Just a little setup to this one. I was at a motel.
Oh, you got that one as your first one?
Yes.
I don't think I got this one.
Oh
So-
my god.
I know. So I was at a motel.
Okay.
Oh
And-
my god.
That was the introduction to
This is such an amazing scene.
So I was at the motel, and this was I don't know, it was early on the run. I did not have a lot of money, so I couldn't afford a room. So I found a little cardboard, the little cardboard piles
The-
that
where you
sleep in,
rest?
Yeah.
out on the side of the motel. So I'm like, okay, I'm just gonna
By the
sleep and
garbage or
then
whatever.
fucking hitch a ride the next day. So when you wake up, You're in his bedroom and he's standing over you.
I was so fucking freaked out anytime taking a rest anywhere like that. It's like, what am I going to wake up to? And I just always just woke up in the same spot. I'm like, that's weird. This seems like it would be a good place to have a very scary cutscene. Now you're talking.
So this is the one where the soap in the bath comes in. Because
Okay.
you wake up and he's like, and I think you asked, like, how did I get here? And he was like, oh, I couldn't just leave you sleep outside, so I brought you in here while you're sleeping.
Dude, okay, real quick, I got a room
Oh, and okay.
and then woke up in Jared's room.
Got it.
And I was like, why am I in here? And he was like, I like the company. And I was like, oh my God. No.
I'm glad you're here.
He had already killed one of my characters at this point. So
Oh,
I was
okay.
like, oh,
Okay,
he's
yeah.
a fucking
Well, I didn't
psychopath.
know anything about this guy, and then he's like, can you grab me something from the bathroom or something like that? You go in the bathroom, fucking dead cop in the bathtub,
Okay.
Whoa!
and he's like,
Our scenes played out differently.
oh, okay.
Go ahead.
Unless maybe I'm misremembering it. It was one of my first. But
That's what she said.
anyway, he's like, I'll give you some money or something like that if you help me, I guess, get rid of the body or something like that. And he's like, he mentions about needing special soap, and it's in like quotations because he's gonna dissolve the body
Right.
in the fucking tub.
Acid or whatever.
It's lie.
Yeah.
And I think one of the responses you could do is like, I'll go to the car and get it. He's like, no. I'm gonna go get it.
He needs special soap.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And this is the first time when he starts doing the showing up randomly, because you turn around after finding the body
And he's right
in
there.
the bathtub, and he's just right there, and it does that cue of music. Like every time that it fucking freaks
Yeah.
you out.
So for me in that scene, the hotel manager walks over, and Jared's like, I only told him one person was in here. You need to get in the closet.
Oh yeah,
And
yeah.
you open the closet, and the fucking dead cop's in the closet.
No, that was
Oh.
the second one for me.
What? There were two
There
dead
were
cops?
two.
Yeah,
There
it's the one in the tub already, and the one that falls out of the closet.
There was not one in the tub for
Oh,
me.
shit.
Oh.
There was
Okay.
not. Yeah. So I get in there. I was like, oh God. He shuts the door.
And you're just like standing next to it at
And
the
you
top
hear
of the closet.
and you hear him talking and stuff. And he's like, you can come out now. That's what I needed your help with.
Oh, fuck.
He's like, put him in the tub. We're gonna wash him. And then
Maybe I did misremember. I don't know.
put him in the tub. And then he's like standing there at the door talking, and he's like, all right, I'll be right back. I'm gonna go get some soap. I'm like, okay.
But no, part of that scene, the manager comes to the door,
Yeah.
and I think you have to like try to lie, but the manager's like, "Oh, can I fix? Oh, how's his TV reception? Can I come in and fix
Yeah.
the TV reception?" And he's like, "Make him go away." And you pan over, and it's just like the door, and you see the manager, and then you see Jared with a gun barrel.
Oh, yeah.
right
he
at your
just put it
head.
in the door or whatever.
Yeah, make him go away.
Make him go away.
Classic
now.
Jared.
Frightening scene. Oh, I don't know if you did this. Did you go talk to the manager behind the counter at the end?
No.
So you go to like I was just dicking around or whatever to like call a cab
when
or
the scene is
something.
over, getting ready
Yeah,
to leave.
and I went and
Okay.
talked to the manager, and as soon as you turn around from talking to the manager, he fucking shoots him. And depending, and one
The
of the
manager?
two, there's two options you could tell the manager is like, hey, can I call a taxi? Or hey, call the cops. There's a man in that room with two dead cops. And I'm guessing if you choose the option of telling on Jared, and then
You're probably
and
dead,
then you're
too.
probably dead. But I was like, oh, I was just calling a taxi, and he was like, oh, or something, like, and then just like walks away.
I drive a taxi.
Super
No, thank
frightening.
you.
Super frightening, though.
Yeah.
Because that's twice that he did like the I'm Jared and I'm here show up.
Yeah.
scene.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
That was like when you're on the side of the road walking through almost like the canyon thing, and he threatens to burn you alive in the van.
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't have that.
Yup.
Oh, yeah. So
That
there's
happened
one.
after like like Stan and Mitch shot him for me.
Okay.
And he was like, well, I'm done with Sonya. Let me go get the brigades now.
Because that wasn't even like really much. He was on his brigades tirade, but it's like you're walking along because I chose to walk along the road.
Yeah.
And then his taxi pulls up next to you and then like slows down. And you look over and you see him in the driver's side. And then he speeds off like ahead of you by like 50 feet.
And just waits.
And then he stops
again. You're like,
and then
oh,
it's
God.
like he throws a body out of the car.
Of course he does.
And then you just see him like walk out from his car and go to his trunk, lift up the trunk, and then his figure stops. And you just have to keep walking forward. And you keep walking forward, and then there's like a noise or something that happens behind you when it does like the quick snap. And you look back, and he's not at the trunk anymore, and it's closed. And you still have to keep walking down that road. So you keep walking down. Then all of a sudden, you're kind of looking at the taxi.
He walks out past the boulder.
And he walks out past the bar. It's like, what are you doing? He's fucking drunk off his ass. Like he's way off it, and he's very, very convinced that you're part of the brigades. And it's like, this is your van. You've come back here so many times. It's like, dude, I'm just like, I'm just trying to walk through. I'm trying to leave. He's like, no, we're gonna burn it. Go find some matches. And you have to go into like this broken down van, find matches, come
He's
back.
like, you found him real quick. I knew it was yours.
Not even that. It's it's the creepy fucking shit because you go into like the little van, you grab matches, and then you turn around and like the little door, you just
And
pop.
he's in the
he just
doorway
pops
with
out,
the
it's like,
gasoline. He's like,
I knew it was your van. And it's like, oh god damn it! And
I've got a surprise for you.
he's like,
He
pour
starts
the
to
gasoline everywhere.
Yeah, so you pour the gas everywhere, and he's like, the surprise is fire.
It's like, we're gonna burn everything, and the surprise is we're gonna burn you inside of it. And you're like, what the fuck? And then you try to diffuse the situation by like I just went for like daughter questions or something
same.
else, and it just kind of goes like, I don't know, it's just, get out of here. It's like, all right, you were gonna burn me, and then you just told me to get out of here, which kind of bring up when we come into the dialogue shit. But it's like you're able to escape him by like just bringing up his daughter, but he's ready to burn you alive inside of this van that you have no idea why it's there. And then there's always multiple gunshots. I thought he killed himself at that one scene. If anybody had that too, where he's taking down the brigade tower.
Yeah, the raid. Right?
I didn't have that scene.
You didn't have the raid?
Wait, what raid?
I didn't have the raid either.
Where you fight the boss with him?
No.
Nope.
No.
Oh, what?
Oh no.
That's where I got the run line from. Oh, fuck. Okay.
Oh wait, no. When you have the baseball bat.
Yeah.
Okay. Wait.
It's,
but what
there's
do they-
a life meter that comes up for the tower, and
Oh yeah.
It's
Oh,
like
okay,
defeat
yeah.
the boss.
Yeah.
and it's you
And
take
it's
down
the
a radio tower.
It's a radio tower. So,
no, I didn't do that.
There was one where you walk along, and I mean, no, I've been talking for a while. You tell that one.
Harry, you say it.
So you show up to this one place, you pick up a baseball bat, and you just go around smashing stuff, and then finally you turn a corner, and then boom, there's fucking Jared with his normal music.
Fucking Jared.
I'm fucking here. And this is actually one of the more sentimental moments. You find out this was his when his daughter was with the brigades, that this is where their station was, and this was her trailer. It had all these little dinosaurs and stuff.
Oh, damn.
It was
outside
like the mini trailer park of the one you met Zoe in.
And he's
Okay.
like super angry, and he's like, this fucking radio tower! He's like, you're gonna help me destroy it! And then you go and you have to start attacking this radio tower and watch the health meter drop until you finally destroy it. And then you sit down and chat with him for a bit.
That's where my quote came from, where he's like, I always enjoy a smoke after therapy. And you just destroyed this fucking old brigade tower.
Yeah, but then he talks himself into anger again, and eventually he just starts getting angry, and gets angry, and he's like, if I were you, I'd better run. Run! Run! And then, like, the road is way over there, and you have to, like, climb up things and everything, and I'm just like, I keep turning around, and I was like, I just imagine
waiting
him
for
just charging.
Right behind you.
But did you get the gunshot?
No, I didn't get the gunshot.
Oh, because at some point when you're like walking, like after like the tower you knock down, and like you have to run up the tower on top of the other like
Yeah.
RV, and you keep going. After you get up a little bit, you just hear a gunshot, and your character turns around to look, and it makes you think that, oh fuck, Jared just killed himself. Surprise, he didn't. But maybe he just shot a gun for more therapy or something.
Well, anytime you go off the path for Jared, he shoots at you, and then you immediately have to turn to him.
I was running in the direction I had to go, though. For that one, because there was one like with the I'm going to burn the van and whatnot.
Yeah.
I tried running too much and he shot and made you come back.
Yeah.
But that wasn't the case for this one. Was different where I was just running along like, the path that you can see. It's like there's no way to miss it. And then there was just a gunshot, and then you turn around and there were like birds scattering too out of the little like desert valley thing that you were in. So I'm glad you got that too.
So, I got one of my characters was killed by Jared.
Were you in the taxi?
Yeah.
Okay.
I was in the taxi.
You didn't do anything. You just sat and wait. You're like, oh, this is going to be great.
Did anybody look at the tapes?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I didn't. I was too afraid.
My meter was all the way down when I did it.
That's when I got killed.
Okay.
Because that's the one where you hear the thumping in the trunk.
In the trunk, yeah.
I was able to look at the tapes twice.
No. The thumping in the trunk is a
No,
separate one.
Yeah, that was the one where he was working on the engine. 'Cause
Yeah.
something happened, and then
And that's when you can look at the
taxi broke down
tapes.
or whatever.
yeah.
Oh wait.
So I'm looking at the tapes, and comes back in, sits down, and then he starts grilling you in the agitation meter, and I thought, I was like, oh, I'll mention Lola, and he'll mellow out and have a conversation with me. Nope. No. The second I mentioned Lola, he's like, you looked at my tapes, and my agitation meter, I shit you not, went from 10% to 90. And I was like, oh, I'm so sorry. I won't ever do it again. And he's just like, yeah, you're right. You won't. And he slows the car down. And I was just like, oh, I guess he's going to let me out. No. Literally, he turns to look at me for a second, looks forward, and he's just like, I've decided what I'm gonna do with you. And then the next time he turns around, he just creeps the gun up over the fucking seat and shot me.
He'll do the same thing for the guy in the trunk.
Yeah.
Because like it'll go back and like the beating will go on for a minute. Like he gets out of the car,
he beats
and,
the shit out of the
beats
guy
her,
in the
you just
trunk.
hear the muffled screams and whatnot, and you're just waiting. And there's an option to like go up in between the seats and like unlock the doors and go run.
And try to run, yeah.
And then there's
that's what I did.
And then there's the other option is you could like just sit there the entire time.
I was not evaluating my options in those
No,
points.
that was one of the ones
"There's
that had a
an option, I'm taking
timer.
it."
Yeah.
I'm not just gonna watch the timer run out because I know I'm gonna fucking die.
It's like if you just let it run out and let it go, be like, I just pretend nothing is happening at all. He's like, all right, well, good news and bad news. Good news is I figured out what I'm going to do. And then he just turns around and fucking shoots you. And then that's the end of your character there.
So
Murders
Jared
you.
killed one of your guys too?
That before I went back and restarted, yeah.
Oh, you just replayed that scene over?
Yeah, I did. As soon as that happened, I'm like, I don't want it to end there. Because I think this was like right after my first one got arrested and I got mad. I'm like, I'm not going to let this happen twice.
Wait, you can replay scenes?
I don't know.
If you go back
Yeah,
fast enough,
yeah,
yes.
you just quit to the main menu.
yeah.
Oh.
Before the
I didn't do that.
before the
I didn't do it
autosave
either.
hits.
Just
play-
pulls
I-
his
I-
computer out of the wall.
Yeah, I played it true. I kept it.
Yeah, no, fuck that. When it comes to decision-making games, I play it the way I want to, and if I don't like it, if I can go back, I'll go back. I don't always get to sometimes, but that one I did. So
He
at
was
least
playing the Life is Strange variant.
goddamn right. I just hit the rewind button by clicking main menu. But yeah, it's like the first time going through when like the anger meter in the taxi, I just let him beat the shit out of the guy in the trunk and kill him and whatnot. I was gonna go with, I don't know. I'm just
Play dumb or whatever.
see nothing, say nothing. I'm just trying to get on my way. And then he's like, oh, well, I made my decision. And then he just turns around and blasts you. I'm like, no, we'll go back and do that again. And then as soon as it started, because I saw everything, like I looked at all the pictures, I messed with all the shit. And then when he was in the back beating the shit out of the dude, I noticed the unlock door button. I'm like, I'm just going to let it go. Yeah, second time I did not. I clicked that button. I fucking ran.
Gotcha.
And then he's like, I guess they went away.
So
I think we should talk about
Endings.
endings.
okay.
As we're 2 hours in.
We don't want to talk about how Jared confronts Sonya and decides not to kill her.
That's kind of the ending. That's ending part 1.
I feel like that's in that.
You feel like that's ending part
That
1?
didn't happen
Yeah.
near the end for me. I mean, like that happened at like my 4th character.
For me, that was Sonya's
Oh.
100% complete.
Yeah.
okay.
Oh
No, I wasn't Sonya
No,
100%.
that kind of fell into like my end stuff. So I guess maybe it was at.
No, yeah, because I
Let's
had
talk
that
about our
scene,
endings.
and
Let's-
then I went to other stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. I kind of find the ending to be 2 pockets. Like there was the one group of characters and how they kind of resolve things, and then like so I had John and Fanny and
Alex.
Alex kind of have like a conversation there where
Right.
she ended up throwing down her gun and then they crossed the border
Together.
Yeah.
I didn't have that ending.
I didn't have that ending either.
I also had that ending.
Okay.
Okay.
Where they went together.
Did you
Yeah.
guys look up the other endings or no?
No.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
All right, don't.
I
Yeah,
won't
let's
say
say-
anything,
yeah,
but
let
yeah.
Joe and I handle that one.
Yeah.
Okay. So from there, Zoe, there's a fight going on at the border.
Right.
Yep.
Zoe charges into the crowd. You have the option of crossing the border or joining the fight. I opted to cross the border.
Same.
Right.
I joined the fight in mine.
Did you?
Okay.
Zoe got shot and killed.
Yep.
And it looks because of the massacre is I think what they were calling it. Flores won the election.
Yeah.
Because of that, and things kind of polish out from there.
Though
That's kind of the bullet point.
Though from what it looked like, if you helped Zoe cross the border, and whether or not you choose escape or fight the fight, she still breaks through the barrier and she's still shot down.
Okay. I think there's a way to keep her alive, though, if I'm not mistaken.
I wouldn't be surprised.
She was alive in mine.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
Interesting.
Cool.
She was not alive in mine.
Okay. All right. Okay. Okay. Cool.
Steve, did you get the exact same ending as Harry?
Yeah. Mama Bear, Papa Bear left with Alex. My whole thing with Alex was the whole conversation between him and John at the end was because I did see some of the other endings, but mine was where Alex was actively trying to disarm the bomb.
Yeah.
Where he's like, John runs up and he's like, Alex, I really didn't want you to do this. And Alex turns around and is like, I'm trying to disarm the bomb, but I'm not able to.
Jesus Christ.
I'm not able. Thank you, story-driven games.
Yeah.
I am not able to do it, and you have to punch in a code for Alex to actually help disable it.
Oh,
And then-
interesting.
Yeah, and then that's where that goes through. So I pretty much. Did you have it where Alex was trying to dismantle the bomb too?
Yep.
Okay. All right. So I think you and I got the same ending. All right. So
Do
between
you
you
want to
boys,
go or do you want me to go?
Go ahead.
Okay.
It sounds like ours differed a little bit.
A little bit, but maybe not all the way.
Yeah.
So yeah, we're at the scene where Alex has the bomb against the wall or whatever he's doing
Yep.
there. Fanny and John come up, and they're in an argument because Alex is very pissed at John because he finds out that he's like, you knew the whole time, you just withheld it from me. Like, what the fuck?
all right. So
He's really pissed off.
Alex was like
I know
trying to.
I know why
detonate-
mine's different.
Okay. Well, Alex was trying to detonate the bomb in yours.
Question, real quick. If we all had similar lead up to the end,
'Kay.
Are we all in a prison over extended a period of time?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That happens with all of them, where you wake up with your playable character in a jail cell with another person with
Yeah,
another.
because you get
team.
arrested leaving the cave where you normally can't be.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah, and then there's like the protest.
Yeah.
Yeah.
and that's when
I
all
think
this stuff
and
happens.
everything leading up from like when your last playable character is detained when you're trying to go through the waterfall.
And your
Yeah.
stack of stones is kicked over.
Yeah.
I was so pissed at that.
Did you stack one up every time, just out of
I
curiosity?
did.
Me
Yeah.
too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's good karma.
And then as
There's
soon
an
as I-
achievement for it.
Yeah.
as soon as you saw the stones kicked down and the camp stuff burning, you're like,
Burning.
this is not going to be good.
Yeah.
So I think everything that happens from there up until when you're being transported, I think that's the same between
Yeah.
all endings.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, Joe. What else you got?
So yeah, Alex was really pissed at John for withholding the information and everything like that. Fanny comes up, finds out that John's, Papa Bear, because he's like, oh, I recognize that voice.
Yeah.
And all that shit. They get in a confrontation. Fanny shoots John and kills him.
Yeah.
And then
Fucked.
all hell breaks loose. The bomb goes off. And you have to escape. And you either join the fight or run across the border. And I ran across the border. Zoe was shot.
The bomb goes off in yours. Oh shit.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, did you have a cut scene when you were with John and you were talking to Alex on the radio? And
And you
okay.
try to defuse the situation.
Yeah.
And you're like, John, just tell him who his parents are and shit like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. I had
Okay.
that.
Okay.
I did as well. Alex decides that he wants to help disarm the bomb, but gets distracted because Fanny shoots John. And
Wow. Okay.
I don't like her reasoning at all for shooting John. Like, this is this is where this game decided to make a really real political statement about problems that are happening, which is just cops can't handle the pressure and then murder somebody. It's literally that's what happens in this ending. The cop can't defuse the situation, so they shoot someone. And so that's why I have no sympathy whatsoever for Fanny. She's a bad cop.
In your scenario, she was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm saying in the situation that I'm talking about right now,
In yours, yeah.
Yeah.
yeah, she's a bad cop.
Well, I think because of the scene, we had the differing opinions of her. as a
In mine,
character.
she was not like that. So,
Right.
yeah.
Yeah. So
Okay.
that's why my opinion's like that, Steve.
Yeah.
So
Okay, Matthew.
well, you're interrupting me. I just want to try to get this out anyway. So
All right, buddy.
All right, buddy pal.
yeah. So I think she's a bad cop because she can't handle the pressure situation, and there's a lot of narrative right now going on with that in real world events. So I thought that was them making a statement on that as well. So anyway, Alex is the one that runs into the fray instead of Zoe. Alex is the one that runs in.
Interesting.
Yeah.
To get shot.
Okay.
Yes, and Alex gets shot.
Oh, you got the one where Alex gets shot.
Yes.
Okay.
Alex gets shot. Fanny's beside herself. And I joined the fight. And then I had Flores ended up winning by a landslide because Zoe made it through and exposed Tyrak.
So
Yeah. Well, I think in all of them, she still exposes him. It's
Yeah, I
just
was
a
gonna
matter
say,
of
she
she
exposed Tyrak in
lives or
mine, too.
die. Yeah.
Yeah.
And showing you reports on it?
Yeah, I
Yeah.
have not seen I watched the supercut of all the endings, and there's not one where it shows Tyrak winning.
yeah, he gets arrested and
Just-
put in jail and shit like that.
Yeah,
Gotcha.
which I will say in a way, it's there should have at
Oh,
least been
No,
one.
I heard there's a way to get a Tyrak winning scenario.
in the ones that I saw.
I
there
don't want
was
to debate
not-
it right now, but
No.
I read about it.
There may be, which I would hope that if they were
Yeah.
coming up with this super multi possibility scenario things that happen, that there is one that he still stays in power, because then that's just staying true to the story,
Right.
one way or another. But it's interesting that Clark had the one where Alex dies, because I did see another ending where Zoe comes through the border. Alex is the one at the front lines, but Zoe still dies at the end, and it just shows Alex crying over Zoe on that pan out from the
bridge or
bridge.
whatever.
Yeah. Although I did see a couple times in a couple of the endings where they replace Zoe's character for us with just one of the random like blonde ponytail like teen boys.
Generic.
Yeah, like I definitely remember seeing his character model before. It's like, oh, I was in a van with this kid, and he ended up like being like one of them. Either that, or maybe
It was like one of the panhandlers outside of a store or
yeah,
something.
either that, or it might have been the one where like when Clark and I were trying to use like the coyote get over the border, and it was the other kid that tagged along. It may have been that kid that you helped push across that was the first one across the bridge, I guess, if Zoe never made it or whatnot.
Right.
Yeah,
Okay. So we're good with story then?
Yes.
I think so.
All right. Well, let's just walk on down the road and move into gameplay.
Gameplay.
All right. So gameplay.
It's pretty straightforward.
Yeah.
It's choose your text. You have some options to, basically, make your own story.
That was my least favorite part about this game, honestly.
Was playing it.
was choosing my options, especially in moments like when I first opened this game, I was really frustrated because it was the moment, like I said, where Papa Bear's running up the hill and he's fucking hammered, right? And when you look at people and you have to pick your options for dialogue, and they're moving,
Yeah.
it's next to fucking impossible to pick the option you actually want.
I was surprised that I did not pick something that I did not want to.
I did a
from,
few
like,
times.
Did you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yikes. That would piss me off.
I was not. I did it like twice on the first scene because he's drunk running up the hill, and you have to try and race him. So you're running too, and it's just like head bobbing all over the place. Oh God, I was like, this game. Hopefully, there's not a lot of this. There wasn't, luckily. I mean, most of the time everybody's standing still.
Yeah, there was a lot of stationary stuff, but the time someone was moving was really annoying. Like the one time I was talking to Fanny, we were having a conversation and she's like slowly backing up, and I was like, okay, yeah. And I went to go press an option, and she moved just far enough that the menu disappeared, and I clicked, and I was like, God damn it! Do you really have to walk close to you again? God, fuck.
Speaking of choices, one thing I do like, which I think is more interesting than your regular pick left or right option, occasionally you get the options of be pro revolt, pro voting for change, or pro just
Loner.
Yeah, loner, just hitching a ride
Yeah.
out of there. I
Yeah.
like that. I like the
Distinction of the
well,
choices.
I like having three options instead of like the traditional left or right or good or evil or
Right.
black.
Be snarky or be
Complacent.
Paragon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like even some of them. I did like that for some of them where once you got like the special abilities, for lack of a better term.
Yeah,
like,
you
for
got
the
more
little
options or whatever.
Yeah, like there was the
You can roll the dice on like charming people into giving you free
I think they
stuff.
just called those the skills.
skills.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
yeah. That's fair. Where some of them were just like, oh, is it a lucky roll? Or one or two of them, it's like, oh, I have
charm or whatever.
Yeah, and you can just have a completely different option, and they didn't always work for, every single playthrough, but at least to give you a couple different choices on top of the choices you already had.
I think the hacking skill was the most beneficial.
Oh yeah, hacking like all the safes
Like
and
there was
stuff.
very few lock picking moments. There was very few moments to use the government ID. The health, as long as you were good with resource management, you didn't need the extra two
Yeah.
bars.
After having
Yeah.
one character die from malnourishment, or at least arrested, rather than it's like, all right, I'm going to find ways to kind of keep this up or be smarter about it.
Yeah,
Thought
just
the vitality system was super easy to manage.
Yeah.
I mean, like you could fuck it up.
Yeah.
Like it really came into play, like when you were climbing the fucking mountain or whatever, like
Yeah.
that kind of shit.
Yeah.
Had a bigger impact. But yeah, I didn't find it like hard.
No.
I mean, it did change some of my decisions though, as far as
Right.
like, okay, walking down the road is probably not the best idea.
Let me see if I can steal a car or something.
Yeah.
steal a car or spend money, which at least like every single time, which I actually would say that I had found lock picking helped me like so much more than hacking or something else, because anytime you would come across a car where it's like, it was blocked out in red of like, steal
Need
car
the keys or
open
whatever.
door. Yeah, then I'm like, all right, well, there's keys somewhere around here, and 85% of the time you could find it on the stage, and most of those times you had to lockpick a desk drawer or something else to
Back room of
to
a gas station.
Yeah,
They're
exactly.
always in the back room of a gas station
All
in a
back
locker.
rooms. I'm gonna steal a set of car keys and some crackers and maybe like $3.
Yeah.
I think I only found car keys once.
Man.
Oh, wow.
I got
Really?
the charming skill from Sonya, with my first character. And I feel like that helped a lot.
I got luck on my first run. It was nice.
I got that on my second.
I got lock picking on my first non-arrest run, like my first full run, which was
Nice.
my second. But yeah.
Yeah, hacking was my first ability.
Oh,
Okay.
Wow. I think lockpicking and hacking were my last.
yeah. Hacking was my
It was
last
brutal.
actually.
Yeah, same.
Huh, check that out.
But yeah, no, I think it's important to mention, but I wish they would have made it harder to make it more challenging. But back to the resource management between your vitality bar, which is food and drink, and rest, I guess, and managing your money. I just felt like I always had like an abundance of both, honestly. And if they would have made it much more hard to come by, I might weigh some more of my decisions, but I felt like I could choose any option I wanted almost any time on every single run through.
See, I actually had more of a problem with money than I did the vitality after learning after the first run, the first teen. But money, I think I had 2 characters, maybe 3, that had like, I think the highest amount of money I had was like $200.
I never even got close to that.
Like
I stashed $40 or $60 every run.
Yeah, when you guys are talking about like
I had
having like
runs where I like
$400,
had
I'm like
$3 going to the fucking cave.
yeah, not.
I had 1 or 2 runs like that too, where I was completely broke getting there.
Yeah.
But those are the times when I
If
was
you
like,
started with hacking, sure, I can kind of get that.
basically, if you get to the end and you have an abundance of either health or money, and you're not getting one of the story endings, which don't require either, you'll get over somehow.
Yeah,
Or die trying.
if
But
you're smart about it.
Yeah.
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 Work hard or die trying, girl.
Cool. Is that it for gameplay?
Kind of, yeah. I
Yeah.
mean, we kind of talked about the mini games and stuff during the story part.
Yeah, I did enjoy having some of the mini games here and there. It broke it up a little bit. It's nothing really
Yeah,
to shake
I
a
didn't
stick
mind 'em.
at. It's not like it was really much. I got mad that I didn't beat John in soccer, but
I crushed him.
That was the only. I kept going like way too wide one way or another, and it just like flew off somewhere.
Nice.
You got a foot, young blood.
All right.
Yeah.
No, let's wait on a bus and stroll on into graphics.
Graphics.
So I mentioned it in development. I think some of the graphics things were pretty cool that they did with the way they did motion capture, the way they did the facial recognition and all that. I thought the character design was actually pretty cool. That was like the way they described it, which I thought was actually a really cool way to describe it, was the character models are basically, they're like clay, but somebody carved them with a machete.
Where it's just like sharp edges. like,
Sharp
on the-
edges, big cuts kind of deal.
I mean, it's
But it still looked pretty good.
the graphics were kind of lackluster to me to an extent.
I think it depends on the art style. Like,
I mean,
because
there
the
was-
lighting and everything was still like really good and everything.
There were a few times where I'm like running through the parking lot in the dark, like outside of like the burger joints or something, and I thought I saw like a prompt pop up, and there wasn't. It was just the graphics
Hitching
kinda
or
like,
something?
Yeah, and at least on that, and it just wasn't. I was kind of disappointed with it. I get it. Small studio and everything else. They're just trying to put something together.
Did you play this on PS4?
I was waiting
It was
for it.
snowing in the desert, guys.
There it is. That's really fucking funny, Clark. That's really fucking good. No. It's, I don't know. But
Did anyone smell smoke anytime Jared was smoking?
I'm going to pull a Godfather on Clark, but instead of a horse, it's going to be a PS5.
I
You're
had
gonna
a
buy a PS5 and put it in my bed.
No, he's going to acquire one.
Yeah, I will acquire one way or another. May or not be from your home.
Nah.
Okay.
I had a glitch graphically.
No.
So the first time, well, I think it's actually the first time you meet Zoe. You're sitting at that campfire, and she gets you to play the trombone and everything like that, and you have that campfire in front of you. Whenever I would pan facing towards the campfire, it would go out.
That's weird.
And then I'd have to turn like 90 degrees, like perpendicular to the fire, and it would light up again.
Physics.exe has stopped working.
Did all the lighting that was caused by the fire stop
Yeah,
as
yeah,
well?
everything stops. It just gets real dark.
All right.
That's really weird.
Nice.
Very strange.
I didn't really have. I think I had like one crash. But
Like a full crash?
yeah, I had a full crash
Oh.
crash to desktop once.
Shit.
But it was I had just started. Oh, I did have one thing. I did have prompts not come up once. It was when I was sneaking into Stan and Mitch's hideout, and they're interrogating you. They're like, "Well, what do you want to do about it?" And then nothing came up. No prompts whatsoever. And I was like, all right, I'll wait and see how long this takes. Like 5 minutes later, I was like, oh, I'm going to quit out and see if that was a glitch. And it was.
Oh.
Okay.
Interesting.
Because I had moments with them as well, but it was like the one would ask a question, but then you'd have to answer to the other one who was standing. Like this happened at the
on
when
the
you're
motorcycle
robbing.
was terrible.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh, God.
okay,
Yeah. That
yeah.
sucked.
'Cause
But
I ran into that at the bank or the burger joint robbery,
Oh, yeah.
where I'm like, okay, where's the
Oh,
options?
yeah. There was one of those where, like, after you had all the money and you wanted to go give it to Mitch, and you had to, like, I had to, like, circle around the entire restaurant again just for it to be give the pig to Mitch, or one of those prompts or something. Like, it didn't come right up. And, like, the time's clicking down. It's like I got 20 seconds left because old man who's about to have a heart attack didn't want to give up his money. I just keep, like, I had to circle around again, and then finally it was like hand the pig to Mitch or something like that, or give the money, and then it finally came up, and not like right away.
Should we talk about how the trees fold up from the ground as they're rendering?
The distance rendering. I mean, like, it's kind of neat the way they do that. They don't just appear. No, like,
The billboards do the same thing. It's like you're driving,
It's
all of a
just
sudden
bad.
you
It's
just
a
say-
pop-up book.
yeah, they don't need to fold up. They could just appear. It would probably look a little bit better.
I kind of like the folding up. I'm not gonna lie, because like sometimes when you're in games like this and it's like rendering and you like have part of a branch that's loading in because that's the closest part of the tree is a part like floating in midair, and the rest of it doesn't render. It looks really dumb.
I don't
But
think a
in-
lot of this background was more than one image.
But
like, I don't
instead,
think it was
we just have a pulley system for trees and fucking billboards.
Exactly.
Oh shit, he's coming!
I kind of liked it. I thought it was like a neat way to do render distance.
To each their own, Joe.
Tyrex said he was going to create jobs. No one realized it was going to be pulley pullers.
I'm gonna put 10 men in front of each tree, and he's just gonna pull them up. And there we go, job creation.
Oh, here comes a car, guys. Here comes a car.
Yeah, I don't know. You're fucking stupid. So dumb.
I mean, look, this game didn't get a AAA budget, so I wasn't expecting AAA things. I do like the style that they ended up going with, of like what you were saying, like the machete cuts, and stuff like that. I did find the game quite charming in certain spots, like
That
the
was
waterfall.
Telltale-esque.
The waterfall was great.
That was nice.
And everything around it, I thought that was really good.
That was a good conclusion to your run.
Like
to-
every
to
time, it was like a
chill
nice
there, and even coming into it at different angles and shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
The
always
zip
always
line was
thought
fucking wild.
That was neat. That was neat.
I always thought that was like really cool and probably one of the best parts, because you're in such an arid desert with the pop-up trees and stuff like that, and then you get to this place, and since you don't have to approach it from afar, it all just renders and loads immediately, so it's pretty nice.
All the trees are standing here.
Yeah, they're already up.
The three-dimensional.
Yeah, there's not 7,000 people there working to working a pulley system.
The real reason they're heading to Canada.
Or the one fun graphic of the one poster that I did vandalize of Tyrak, where you put a Hitler mustache on him, and devil horns.
Yeah, and then stink lines with little flies.
Oh yeah, I didn't see that one. Yeah,
when you do that, if you pan up and look at the full thing, it's like it's
Where was this
stink
at?
lines.
yeah. Oh,
Anytime
when
you vandalize a
when you
poster.
Oh, I just maybe didn't pay attention enough to when I was vandalizing.
I
them.
did one at that because
He was doing all the Flores ones.
No, I was vandalizing all the tire cones, but I was
Why
just like
won't they
spam,
vote for
spam. Because it was like 7 posters in a row, so I was just like spamming the button.
It's like after seeing like the amount of chapters that you guys finished with, being the last one to finish this game, I got on chapter 7. I'm like, I might as well at least vandalize like a couple Tyrak posters. Why not? And the first one, it was devil horns and Hitler mustache. I'm like, oh my god, this is not a U.S. game, and probably not Germany. So let's find something else.
Yeah.
So that's hearing about French and whatnot. I'm like, oh, there's Hitler mustaches on all of these. Let me hit a couple more before I leave this area.
Anything else about graphics?
No.
Not so much.
Let's find a cardboard box, take a nap, and move into sound.
Audio.
This was probably my most disappointing segment of the game.
The sound?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's bullshitting.
Wow, okay.
No,
I mean-
the voice acting, no.
Okay.
It was
yeah.
not. It was not good.
I think there were some characters that were okay, and some of them were just not.
No, I wouldn't say that. I think every character had good moments, but I think they also had some like filler. They just quick read from a sheet moments.
You think
100%.
Okay.
every character had good moments?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely.
You really stuck on Alex over there,
I
huh?
can't fucking stand
Yeah,
him.
he's not a great character, but he did have some good like dialogue
Like,
moments.
I think the one spot where he stood out to me was when he called Fanny. Because he wasn't like homegirl, blah, blah, blah. And it was more like
Sincere,
more
I'll
heartfelt
give you that
and,
one.
And like that.
That one. Well, there was like 2 times when he actually called her. At
Yeah.
least in like my play, I think there was like 2 or 3 times
Yeah,
where he
the phone
actually
booth
talked
and then
to
when
her.
you're in the motel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that I would say is probably like where I could give a pass.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it's like the voice acting when it really kind of came to it. I could not get into it.
I think some of that's the writing too, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe. But some's the writing of like the actual like writing of the dialogue, and some of the way it was delivered just was not there. I just cannot believe it. Really? It's
I think some of the ancillary characters, like the non-main characters, were really poorly acted.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, like the random teens that you find on the side.
Yes.
Yeah.
They were bad.
The random old people that you would like meet at the gas station and stuff.
I didn't have a huge problem with any of the main characters, like the 6 or 7, if you want to count Stan and Mitch as a separate entity.
The most I would give Stan and Mitch, I think, like out of like the other characters, probably like seemed the most like okay, tolerable. Like,
I thought Jared was great because that was not somebody's natural sound. That was somebody making
it's
that
him
voice.
doing a voice, yeah.
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 And I thought that was actually really impressive because I felt like he did have a little bit of a range there, but it was all creepy and anger.
I feel like there were like 3 different people playing Jared.
No, it was one.
There's,
Yeah.
Yes, thank you, Joe. I know it's only one person, but the way it came out, it's just like between super angry Jared and it would just like snap off in like the dialogue decisions where
okay.
I just go from here, now go! It's like, what? It's like there's no consistency to this.
I mean, when somebody like that, though, is like that. Like, somebody that's like going to kill somebody
Like,
just like,
like
switch.
hair trigger. It's like,
Yeah,
okay,
like-
okay.
He might just be schizophrenic. Like he might actually
that-
have different voices. You
very
know? Like,
that's very possible. Yes.
let's talk about the fucking music in this, though.
Okay. So, the music was fucking awesome.
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
absolutely incredible.
I've been listening on Spotify.
The original
Have you?
soundtrack.
Yeah.
Same.
So, the cool part about the music in this game for me was, one, the tapes.
Yeah.
Like, finding the tapes was cool and being able to play them in different scenes and things like that. And
Did you
change
guys
it up.
find all the tapes?
I had
I
all the
did.
tapes.
Yep, I found them all too.
Nice.
So the other cool part about the tapes is that like the artists on the tapes are the real artists
Yep.
that made the tracks.
Yeah, that
I
was
thought
a
that
really,
was really cool to throw in for the
It
artists.
was.
And a few of the tracks were specifically made for this as well.
There was a lot, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Like that Zoe's song that she keeps playing for you when you meet her.
Yeah.
That's like one of my favorites of the non-techno. Like there's some really good techno in this too. But
Toxic Avenger.
yeah, Toxic Avenger is
Yes,
fantastic.
Toxic
in
Avenger
this.
is awesome.
But yeah, like Toxic Avenger made like 5 or 6 songs for this, and you can tell that they knew exactly what they were making.
Yeah.
Like, just, it's 1996. There's still like the synthwave movies coming out from
Yeah,
like the
so,
80s
like-
and stuff like that. Like, it's so perfect.
They brought this up during the documentary and they were like, okay, so like everybody that was working on this game kind of grew up in that same vibe, and they were like, look, mid-90s when this is taking place, a lot of people, you were either into like Metallica or you were into like Daft Punk and like
I definitely got the Daft
EDM and shit like
trance
that.
rave
Yeah.
shit. Yeah.
And like you totally get that.
Yeah. The music is the one part of audio where it's just like I have no complaints about. Like the soundtrack to this game it's fun. And I love the fact that they give you an opportunity to listen to it like pretty much in any scenario that you're in. You can find a radio that you can just pop a cassette in and just listen to it, or when you steal a car and you're driving around.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Like, that
I
was
love
really
that
good.
every single car had a cassette player that you
Yeah.
could just like put some music on. Like,
Except for the one that
There was one-
Sonya fucking made you tune the stations on.
Yeah, like
yeah,
that was annoying.
her limo, her goddamn limo.
No, even when she
No.
gets in your car,
Yeah,
like
after
when
she
you're
crashes
driving
the limo.
her in your
yeah,
car,
yeah.
it's like you have to like do the radio dials. Like there's no option to have a cassette in that car.
She's like, I want to listen to some dance music. And I was like, oh, let me put this fucking sweet Toxic Avenger in.
Yeah.
And you can't.
Yeah, you're like, wait a minute.
Instead, I'm a little bit country. What are
Yeah.
you doing, kid?
Oh, God.
My favorite track though is a Toxic Avenger one. I think it's the Road or something.
Road 96.
No, that's the Zoe song is Road 96.
Hold on. No, I think it's called The Road.
Okay.
No, that's
Home
the-
Call. I'm sorry. It's,
Home
it's
Call,
called
okay.
Home Call. It's the one that loads when you start a new character. When it zooms. Doesn't sound like that, but
He's tone deaf.
but like as soon as you click on a new character of like
Yeah.
the profiles and it loads into the map and it's just starting. I don't know, that song just like it gives me chills. Just like the whole vibe of somebody running away from home, they're trying to escape the border. Like
It sets up for that really intense, like, here we go.
yeah.
Yeah.
So I personally think it's a highlight track of the game.
All right. Well, let's leave some money under a rock for anybody else that needs it and give our final thoughts.
Final thoughts.
That money was your final thoughts because you never got it back after that. I don't know. Was there an achievement for leaving like a certain amount of money, or
I don't know. I only had money my first time through.
Oh, I left money twice, and there was like $80 and $80, and I'm like, Where's my money?
I don't know if there's any correlation, but I felt like when I left large sums of money in the Rock, I felt like my next person was finding more money randomly in like trash cans and things like that. I wonder if it played into the karma, because like you did get karma points when you left money there.
I saw like the little like head figure,
blue,
like
blue,
right.
So
right,
I was like, I kept doing it because I kept feeling like I was getting there with, you know, like $120, $130 without finding an ATM card or without really, like, you know, just searching, doing my normal thing.
Right.
I felt like I kept getting there with money, and I was like, oh, I'll just keep doing it, you know?
Yeah.
I kept buying the piggy bank at the end. Did that have anything?
I bought it pretty much
The
every
fortunes?
time, too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know what that did, but I bought it every time.
The fortunes were like hints almost
Okay.
for how to handle things in stories. I noticed that they started correlating to people's stories.
Interesting.
Okay.
Literally, one of the fortunes was like listening to an angry stranger can sometimes prove beneficial.
Well, could you read them in the menu or something? I would just pick it up as an item, and
No,
I didn't know what would happen.
No, they just showed up on the bottom left of the screen, and that was it.
Yeah. Once you read the fortune and it disappeared from the screen, that was it.
Yeah.
I don't remember any text coming up.
It was always in the bottom left of the screen. It wasn't on the little, like, slip.
Yeah.
Well, I just bought it and never read it.
Oh, there you go. Well, you gave $3 every time to help.
Good job. Good job, Harry.
There you
I
go.
was supporting that mom and pop shop.
There you go.
On that note, Harry, final thoughts?
Yeah. Okay. I really enjoyed this game. I'll be completely honest. Now, I am not going to give it a perfect score, and I did want to explain this. I didn't know where else to put this, but just wrapping up my thoughts, I think this is a pretty good moment. I think the world building of this game gets like a 10 out of 10. I think this just like really faulty government, like the kids just trying to run away from home and get across the border by any means necessary, and just like the whole travel, the music, and like it just feels very authentic, essentially. But I do have an issue with the characters that they placed in this world. The major NPCs, the side NPCs, I don't think they match the tone of the world building. I think they're a little bit sillier than the world that they built. So if the world building is like a 10 out of 10 for seriousness, the characters that they put in this world are like a 7 or an 8 out of 10, and it doesn't match up.
They're kind of comically
They're comically... Yeah. They're somewhat silly characters in a very devastating and tragic world, which doesn't match up 100%. And
There's not a lot of tragedy with the characters, and the only person that has like true tragedy with them is Jared, and he's a fucking psychopath, so you can't really relate to him.
No, but like I
So
wish they
kinda
would
get that.
I wish they would have tailored a lot of the characters to be as serious a level as Jared. I mean, Jared had his like,
Yeah.
you know what I mean though, like the
Yeah.
whole silly Alex moments, and then like
Stan and Mitch.
Stan and
being
Mitch,
weird.
like they're really weird and they're cool characters, but do they fit into the tone of this game? I mean, there's an argument to be made there. So that was my biggest takeaway. Like, I wish everything was as serious, and I think the story would have been more impactful, and I think it would have resonated with me longer. But having said that, I really enjoyed the game. I do like this whole concept. I love the music of this game. I can't give this game a perfect score because of that. So that's my biggest takeaway.
All right.
Clark?
The game is not without its flaws, but I actually really, really enjoyed the game. I felt that the characters were engaging outside of, you know, what Harry said. They don't really match the same level of desolation that the actual situation is, you know. And maybe that's because, you know, we didn't see like John as more of a radical. It would have been interesting to actually interact a little more with someone like Robert. Instead of John. John could have been John would have been a little more interesting of a side character to spice up Fanny's thing and interacting with Robert to see the more radicalized version.
Yeah, like more of like a chaotic evil type thing.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
It would have been interesting to kind of see that kind of stuff. So, I think the world is interesting. I think the characters are interesting. They're not fully, flush. But all in all, I would totally, play this game again. I've been thinking about it. I'm probably going to start a new game plus. That is an option. I don't know what the difference is for new game plus, but
I think you just keep your skills.
Yeah.
Oh,
Which
yeah.
would be kind of cool because then it opens up more options.
yeah,
Right.
Everything.
I'll probably definitely play this again.
And
then.
you might be more liberal with your money now that.
Yeah,
you know
and
how
I mean,
things-
I did get, I did start 9 characters in this. I played a lot of this game, and I'll continue to play more.
Nice. Steve?
I feel very conflicted with this game. The concept of the game itself, of basically having like multiple run-throughs but with different scenarios building up the stories of the auxiliary characters, I really like that. I think that's a great concept.
You're not building this story of the person you're even playing at all.
Right. That if anything, the person you're playing is the auxiliary character, and other 6 people or 6 groups that you have as like a side story kind of become the main story. Mm-hmm. And I think that's really neat because there's not a whole lot of games that really have that.
Right.
That being said, I think the actual character development of those other 6 storylines could have been better. The majority of the voice acting, I'll give a few here and there. It didn't do it for me. I felt like it almost felt kind of, I don't know. It's just like, I don't want to say it felt like kind of like kid-ish, like to it. I feel like there was something missing. Like like we were saying, the severity of like the world that they live in, they're growing up in, I don't think that was really like represented yet. Okay, you're showing like kids are being like taken away to like work in the pits. You didn't really see much of that until the very end when you had like a lobotomized Max or whatever the other kid's name was, like in the transport. Mm-hmm. That was the very end. If anything, put in some of that like at the last 25% of the game to really fucking ramp it up at the very end coming up to the election day. But, there's a lot of like give and take with this game for me. And, I would like to play through again because I would want to see what 100% of the story is for everybody. Because just hearing like all the different interactions, that sounds neat to kind of get the whole perspective. But I just don't know if it's enough to really have me put that kind of time into the game again. Yeah.
All right. So for me, really enjoyed my time with the game. I kind of agree with what everyone's saying here, for the most part. A little bit from everybody. Really enjoyed, like I said, the music, the gameplay, the story was really cool for me, and it was told in a way that I haven't been told a story before, which I thought was really charming. Mm-hmm. Like, and we were all told the same story completely different ways.
Yeah.
And I think that's awesome. Not being attached or needing to be attached to the character you're playing was also very cool. Like your character didn't even have a model. They were just like, yeah, no, you don't worry about who you are because it doesn't matter in the grand scheme of things.
Depressing. No, I
thought it was cool.
Yeah, no, it is neat. It is neat.
That being said, like I said, I really enjoyed my time with this. Let's cling on to the side of this sidecar and make our way into scores.
The score.
All right. Steve, score?
This is going to get a C- for me. I love the vessel that they had for the game. I just did not like what the vessel was carrying to deliver that to me. I like the concept of how they wanted to tell the story. I just don't like the story that they told.
That's fair.
Okay.
That's fair.
I was I was trying to think of the vessel thing. I was like, wait, I actually want to know more, but I don't want to interrupt you. I was like,
that's fair. For that, it's just like, it's like, Steve, what the fuck are you talking about?
Vessel was that another form of transportation in this game?
I missed this. God, fuck, there's boats.
That's new game plus. They just add another mode of transportation.
Here's boats
through the desert on the road.
Just take hot air balloons. Clark?
Jared's shooting your balloon with a gun. I'll get you.
I have a gun. Do you like pterodactyls?
if you are interested in seeing how a procedural game can be made to have those different experiences every time that you play, I think this is an absolute buy. I think from a technical standpoint alone, this game is worth a buy just to see it in action. Just the way the story gets crafted, and having it be different. And honestly, if you like political games, it's a buy as well. If not, if that's not for you, get it on sale. I still think it's a game worth owning and worth playing once, because I think there is some information and opposing viewpoints to glean and see in this.
Harry? Looking at scores over there for like 10 minutes.
I know. I'm like, because I think I knew what number I wanted to give it, but I really just needed to like solidify that like I'm doing the right thing. So I'm going to give it an 8.0. And it'll kind of make sense when I explain some of the other games I categorize this way. I gave Inside an 8.0. I gave Firewatch an 8.0. And I gave What Remains of Edith Finch an 8.0. And I just get like the same quality, like it's a really cool concept as an indie title. Just
what was Inside? Oh, it was the Blob, right? At the end?
Yeah, the Blob at the end.
Gotcha. Yeah, I remember that now.
That there's just some like really, really cool, unique things about all of those games, but they like dropped the ball a little bit at one point. But 8.0 out of 10 is pretty solid score though. So
nice.
I wish you would have played Edith Finch though.
That was a good one.
Yeah,
that was fun.
That was a really good one.
I'm gonna give this a 95.
Oh wow!
Hot.
Damn.
I really enjoyed it.
Two thumbs up on the side of the road for Joe.
Like I said, I played this in like 3 sittings. Like it was one of those games that like I put down because I had to put down, not because I wanted to. Like the way every scene happened. Like as soon as I loaded into a scene, I was like, okay, where the fuck is this gonna take me? You know, especially the scenes where like you loaded and you were already in a car, or like, you know, hitchhiking was the most exciting thing. Like every time I was like, oh, like, you know, I was like, okay, Vitality, like, okay, let me hitchhike because it could be fucking anything. It just like everything I did was like pretty exciting to see where it was going to go for me. And I really enjoyed it.
Did anybody have any of the scenes that don't have any characters in them?
Like what?
I had one or two where you're just hitchhiking
you
with
show up at a gas station or whatever, and
I don't know. I didn't have any, but I know like I think when you start running through and getting up multiple characters like 100%, you have more and more likely chances of getting filler scenes.
Yeah, I had one where I literally took a taxi that wasn't Jared. It was just a regular guy, and he got me to my destination. And he said, "Hey, do you want to keep going, or do you want me to just drop you off here?"
No, I had
So
that.
there were scenes like that, you know, like
where characters were just named Teen instead of actual names and whatnot. Even like further down in.
I had one that was like not a character, but still had a mini game where I had to pump gas.
Oh,
Okay,
That's
cool.
That's something.
I never
Yeah.
had to pump gas. I had
No.
to siphon gas for.
No, like I literally was
Wrestling
like
Zoe.
at a gas station, and he's like, "You want to make some money?" And like literally, I was just like pumping gas for cars that came in,
Okay.
and they would be like, "I need 10 liters or whatever," and then like you'd pull the handle and stop it at 10 liters, and like the closer you were to the exact number, like better tip you got.
Oh.
I do remember that. Yeah, I
That's
did
kind
do
of
that.
cool.
Okay.
Yeah, but there was no character involved.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was just a way to earn money. That pretty much wraps up this episode for everybody, and we
Fucking
will.
finally.
Thanks for hanging out with us.
Yeah, thanks for joining us on this trek.
Yeah.
And we will.
Also, if you're listening to this and heading to the border to try to jump over it, best of luck to you.
yeah, right.
Find someone else to boost you over first because they're going to get shot.
Yeah, always take the boost. Don't be the boostee. Or don't be the booster. Be the boostee.
All right. Well, so we'll see everybody in 2 weeks for our retrospective on the Sega Genesis.
Sega.
Stay safe.
Stay sexy.
Love you guys.
Stay lovely. Vote Flores.
Thanks for listening. Be sure to follow us on social media and all streaming platforms at Superfun Podcast for more episodes. If you enjoyed the show, tell a friend about us and consider becoming a Patreon member for more exclusive content.